Ladies and gentlemen, crypto heads around the world, the Monday Kickoff with real Daniel Nitze and Mr. Spread. Like, share, subscribe, and enjoy.
Hello everybody. Hello Daniel, nice to have you here, man.
Hello, good to be here.
Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year, everyone, or Happy New ETF, or how do we say it now? You know, because it's the ETF year.
I'm gonna kill you, Daniel. Please don't say that word again. I'm dreaming. I'm having nightmares with small ETFs like this, like little devils running around with pitchforks and knives and flamethrowers and everything's like I cannot get to it got to me. I cannot wait for all this debacle to end so we can get back to to charts, so we can speak about the halving, so we can speak about other trading in general, investing, strategies. Yes,
I cannot trade right now. Like I stopped
it's
trading
impossible.
for like a week and a half because I can't. Like with this uncertainty is not really right to trade in this condition. So I just want it to end so I know how to position in regards to trading, because now it's like very, very uncertain to see what the markets are gonna do in this. But we're gonna probably discuss some scenarios, right? Because
Absolutely.
the ETF, I'm gonna say ETF in this live stream probably 100 times till the end of the month. Yeah, probably 100 times it's gonna be ETF.
Let's do a drinking game, guys. Everybody who is here, beside the share and like and some reactions, every time when Daniel says ETF, you get the drink of something. You take a shot of something. You take a shot of something.
Yeah, at the 10th ETF, probably everyone's gonna like be dreaming of a white ETF or something. I don't know. They're gonna dream of something. They're not gonna be with us on the live stream. But yeah, it's the whole tobacco right now. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it gonna pump the price? Is it gonna crush the price? Is it exit liquidity? It's not exit liquidity. What is this event, right? This is what we're gonna discuss, and because we're all here in the markets, we've seen this before. It's not like something is like we've seen these kind of events, and I think this is the moment of the 2003 gold bugs, right? We are the gold bugs now. Because they had their moment.
Don't say that because Peter Schiff is gonna come here and is gonna school you. He's like, Bitcoin is not gold. Gold is not Bitcoin, and we are very lucky because Bitcoin is not gold, are we? Right?
Yeah, I think so. Gold has his own space here, in this financial world. But I think, Bitcoin is like taking more and more from the whole market cap of gold. I think every year people are more interested, especially new people that are joining the markets are more interested in Bitcoin, of course, than like gold. Because gold is kind of, old, is like doesn't do anything really fancy, in the internet age. So that's why it's like that. But gold, of course, has these properties. You can make jewelry and other things with gold. Gold is in everything, can be also in this phone, so has a lot of properties.
I agree. Gold is in a lot of industries, like you're saying, from technology, especially microchips and all the other tech that is used
it's everywhere.
It's in medicine used a lot, so it has a lot of properties, to be honest. But like you're saying, it's old tech. And let's just think about it. The young generation right now, how fast they're losing their interest, like very fast, right? Imagine if something is not working. I'm watching, kids from my family, and they're like anywhere from 5 years old up to 16, 17. And if something is not working on their smartphones or on their tablets or on their computers, in like 1 minute, they just uninstall it and just forget about it. So when you think about technology, it does not matter what you think, Daniel, what I think. It just matters that technology just evolves, in my opinion. With us, without us, the technology doesn't care. And I really think that people who are against technology, or they are just refusing to accept that Bitcoin is the next step in the human evolution when it comes to the store of value, when it comes to transfer of wealth, they didn't follow evolution properly. Because, like, come on, let's be honest, when was the last time we used a rotary phone, or I don't know, the last time when we used those tractors or the horse and carriage? So just watch this young generation. You'll understand that most likely they will not buy gold as a store of value, and everything is going to happen much faster. We need this kind of digital tools, in my opinion, like it is Bitcoin, to transport the future of wealth, maybe even to other planets. Who knows? I mean, do you really think that Elon Musk
It's
or
information, like
exactly?
you can transfer it through information, that's the quickest way, because if you look at the distances, it's like crazy. I think the closest planet, like exoplanet closer to our Earth, I think is 4.7 light years away. So it means around 200,000 years just to go there. It's like crazy,
Sure.
So you cannot really do that. Even though you reach speed of light, you cannot travel that fast. So information might be interesting to like be transferred in a way on other planets, because human body is like basically, it's very hard to transfer it anywhere. But yeah, and I think now BlackRock is starting to understand, and the big institutions are starting to understand that this space is not going anywhere. Bitcoin is not going anywhere. So it's like, okay, if this is not going anywhere, if the new generation is more interested in this, then we need to be in it. We cannot be outside of it. We need to be in it, and of course maybe control it, because in my mind, like BlackRock now, and all these big institutions are trying to do is just control Bitcoin, the crypto, and basically everything, because they will not come in if they will not know if they can control the price. Do you agree with that? Like let's
for sure they'll do whatever they can to play mind tricks with the participants in the asset class where they're also trading.
No, but
so I agree
about liquidity. If they will not control the liquidity, I don't think they will be here right now. I don't think so. If they will not know, it's like, okay, we can control the liquidity, we can control what's getting in, what's getting out, and maybe the price. We're not gonna touch this asset class, and they did not till a few months back. Of course, they were not that interested in getting involved, but now they did. We know what happened with Binance. We know what happened to FTX. I don't think those are really random from my point of view.
I also don't think they were random.
Yeah,
I don't think they were random.
I think now if they really did this and they applied for ETF, I think they have more certainty that they can control things better. That it was like 1 year or 2 years ago.
Maybe.
So I think we're switching sides from like Binance and FTX and other exchanges controlling the liquidity. I think we're switching hands to like big institutions. And you can see it good or bad, but that's what's happening right now. And I don't think it can be stopped at this point in time. Like I don't think it's a way back right now.
I also don't think it's. I think this is the Rubicon. I think this is the place in time where big institutions, are gonna offer to a lot of their clients. But what is very important here to note is, by the way, I just want to mention something, because a lot of people, I've still seen a lot of people, especially from Europe and from our country, that they have a confusion and they were saying that BlackRock already bought Bitcoin. No, that's not true, because if they would have bought Bitcoin at the end of every quarter, by the way, guys, this is for every company, not only BlackRock, they have to file a form which is called 10Q, in where they have to reveal whatever they done in the previous quarter. So if BlackRock would have already purchased Bitcoin, we would have seen in the latest earning release, and they didn't have it on their balance sheet. But most likely they will do this in the next quarters, because they have to have the underlying asset of the ETF which they hold.
Yeah,
so this is the first thing.
Let's explain first the ETF. When someone buys the ETF, they don't buy Bitcoin. Let's explain it simply. They don't buy Bitcoin. They just buy a contract, correct? So they just buy a contract. That contract can be 1 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, depends of the type of contract,
Correct.
And when they buy it, they need to pay a fee. I've seen that a lot of institutions now, like BlackRock or whatever funds, they're switching from 0.8 to 0.2. So they're paying some kind of a fee in order to
you're paying. Yes, you're paying a management fees like 0.3 if you're buying.
So you buy it, and then after you buy it, for example, they need to go and buy it themselves from spot market. They need to go on Coinbase, because Coinbase, they chose Coinbase as
most likely. Most likely.
No, it is already. It is.
Okay.
It is stipulated already. Like Coinbase is the place to go for them when they buy it. So they buy it from the exchange, and then they hold it because they need to hold it. That's why it's a difference between the spot and the futures. On the spot, you need to have the underlying asset when you have the ETF approved, basically. So that's what happened with gold in 2003, and after that, gold rallied for 380% after that. But with gold, you cannot really verify the supply, so
Sure.
you can make a lot of things there. JP Morgan was fined a lot for like suppressing the gold price for like a while. So
Not only the gold price, all the metal prices, from palladium, silver, whatever.
Yeah, so they're asking themselves, is this going to happen to Bitcoin? And the answer is yes and no, and more to no, because in Bitcoin you should see that, you should see it on the blockchain. It's like open, so you can see if of course, the wallet of BlackRock in Coinbase and stuff like that. You can track it. You can see, okay, they have this amount of like the ETF liquidity. They need to have this Bitcoin, and if they don't, it means that something is wrong there somewhere. That's probably how it's gonna go, but I don't know, maybe they will find a way to not have the underlying asset, which is not really legal, because then they're gonna
I don't think that is possible if you have an ETF to not have the underlying asset. But the problem with the ETF, in my opinion, is that for sure they will find some, like you're saying, maybe not necessarily not holding the spot underlying asset, but they will do some stupid things, not stupid, sneaky things, and Machiavellic things, like they did with the coal prices, and they're gonna find a way to have some paper contracts to suppress the spot prices, like they're doing for gold for quite some time. You mentioned very well, JP Morgan have been fined for spoofing on the spot gold, on the spot metal market a lot of times. But in my opinion, and I can be wrong, of course, they have been doing this because maybe they want lower metal prices, especially gold, especially silver, because they're using those metals in other industry where they have bigger margins, where they have bigger returns, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows? But what I know is that I have been accumulating gold for a few years in 2012, 2013, physical gold. And after I've read more about it and after I understood what's going on, I've reduced dramatically my exposure to gold and to silver. I still have some physical holdings like gold bars and silver bars, but this have been reduced like 90% since the first time.
Exactly what I'm saying. They enter the gold ETF, they control the price, right? They control the price. They controlling the price. Is it not like that? Like, are they not controlling the gold price at this point?
I think so, yeah.
Exactly.
The difference with that is that, like you said very well in the beginning, it's much easier, in my opinion, to control the gold price because you don't know exactly the quantity which you have. All the time can be another gold mine, I don't know, somewhere in Africa. And after that, I mean, okay, we had how much gold globally, what was the supply? Like you never know. There was even some discussions that BlackRock with some space programs, they're gonna farm gold from some asteroids. So like, however, how come? I mean, when you will know what is the total supply of gold? It's unlimited. The total supply of gold.
Yeah, it's in the universe is unlimited.
In the universe, exactly. But even on the planet, how much do you know that is in the earth?
Yeah,
to put like know. You don't know.
Yeah,
it's like a shit coin with unlimited supply.
yes, and no, but
it was just a bit of banter.
Exactly, but coming back to the gold, a lot of people think that it's gonna happen the same with Bitcoin. It's gonna rally 3 or 4x from here, because that's what gold did in 2003. And I can say that I don't really agree with that scenario, because in 2003 internet was not that big. Like, the information flow was like different, not everyone knew that the Bitcoin, like the gold ETF back then, is coming, because the TV was not really coverage event that much. You don't have Facebook, you don't have YouTube, nothing basically. Like, the random people, they will not know. Like, the big institutions, yes, and the players in the finance space, yes, but probably the normal people, they will not know a gold ETF is there, but they will find out. They will find out on the way. That's why that event, in my point of view, was not priced in, because people were trying to find, okay, gold ETF, they will find out about 6 months or 1 year or like 2 years. Like, okay, a gold ETF, yes, we want in. But now it's kind of different with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, it's in the internet age and information age, and you can find this information everywhere. Like, we're talking about it, everyone's talking about it. Everyone knows that the ETF is coming. Maybe on a granny on the street will know that the ETF is coming, because she will hear someone speaking on the corner about the ETF of Bitcoin. So it's not the same.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think that we're at the stage where Granny is speaking on the corner about an ETF, but
It can be. It can be. It can. If we say ETF 200 times in this live stream, a granny might hear about it.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, coming back to the point, this event might be closer to be priced in than the one of gold. That's what I mean. Like gold rallied, and now Bitcoin already rallied in like before this news, and it can be the point that after it can be like maybe a selling event after, of course, the ETF, after maybe a leg up towards 48, 50, or whatever it's gonna be. It might be a sell the news event because everyone knew about it. And
so wait a second, I have to ask you here. If it's delayed, it's sell the news. If it's approved, it's sell the news.
Yes. If
so
it's approved,
how is it bullish?
Look how I see it. If it's approved, we're gonna pump. So that's why we're gonna pump, because it's too good, for the market makers. It's too good. It's too good not to pump it, to create what? Liquidity. That's what they need, basically. They need liquidity in order to exit at maybe a higher price. That's my point of view. So it's too good not to pump it for like a while after it's like approved. But then, in my point of view, it's probably gonna be a sell the news event, because when BlackRock applied for the ETF, a lot of people knew before. Can you agree with that? Like a lot of insiders knew about that. Like family of Larry Fink or whatever, politicians, everyone knew about it, that the BlackRock is going to do it, and they positioned themselves before, correct? Like, you will not wait. Okay, let's wait 45,000 in order to buy Bitcoin. No, probably they will position themselves before. And I was like, okay, we'll probably position ourselves 20 to 25K. And when it's approved, we're gonna probably sell the news, because what's next? What's next for Bitcoin moving forward? So that's what I think. It's gonna be a pump event when it's gonna be approved, because it's too good to pass from the market makers and the market overall to attract traction here into the crypto space, and flash Bitcoin going up, whatever, to everyone to pour in and like start buying at higher prices, and probably then they're gonna find the liquidity to drag it down.
So you think you're gonna pump until 48, and after that we're gonna correct?
Oh, well, no one knows exactly. Let's take that. No one knows exactly what's going to happen when the ETF is approved. But by probabilities, in my view, like psychology-wise, I think that can be like 48, 51. Who knows where it's going to go? Like, who knows how crazy that moment is going to get, It's something that the market expects for years. Like, I'm doing live streams on YouTube 2019 speaking about the Bitcoin ETF. So it's like a while.
The Bitcoin ETF is since 12 years ago, by the way. The first mention of a Bitcoin ETF.
Yes. But I mean, it's like 4 years. That's what I mean. So all this pressure builds up, and then who knows what's going to happen in that moment. You never know what's going to happen. But a point to make is that the price is going to be pumped with the same money. It's not going to be BlackRock money. It's not going to be new money. It's going to be the same money, probably, that's going to pump the price.
What do you mean when you say, what do you mean with same money?
Liquidity. It's not going to be and it's not going to be the new liquidity from the ETF. Okay, it's not like the ETF is approved. Yes, trillions are coming in. BlackRock is like buying. Institutions are buying. No, it's just the people that are here, because when the ETF is going to be approved, it's going to take time. It's going to take time till it's going to get going, till liquidity is going to come, when BlackRock will have to buy. Takes time, usually 2 weeks, usually a month, depends on the time frame. So it's like the same money that are here now, like the money that are here now, these people are going to pump it, the wells that are on the timelines is the same. It's not like the liquidity that's going to come from BlackRock, the trillions you hear every day. The trillions are pouring in, the money is coming, the trillions they're not there yet. It takes some time till you're gonna get there, so that's why I think might be, when this is approved, to be a good exit liquidity, which happened in the past. The question is it different this time? That's what the question is, and most of the time the answer is no. Okay, especially in crypto, but in other events, like you see an event, you build into that event, and then you have to sell the news after the event and the takeoff and some kind of a blow off top. Okay, I don't think it's gonna be different this time either. Like, for first impression is that it's gonna pump, because it's too good for market makers to pass, to create liquidity in higher zones, and then probably we're gonna have a sell the news event. And
so what's your plan? What's your plan on this? How are you positioning for this? And for example, let's say it's gonna be approved. Let's say it's approved and we are at 52.
Okay, it's approved. It's at 52. In regards to trading, I am probably not gonna touch it. Okay, so I'm
Sure.
not gonna trade the event because
Smart.
it's uncertain. Okay, it's uncertain.
Very
I
smart.
don't like uncertainty. So if I would trade it, and I'm telling people that really want to trade this event, your size needs to be lower, lower and lower and lower, and do not touch leverage on this event, because it's gonna be probably like this something, and probably and longs and shorts are gonna be destroyed in probably the same time. Can be happened
I
happened in
agree.
the past, you know. In regards to positioning, I position myself with an average price of 21K for this bear market. Okay, we're talking about this bear market, what buys I had, and then I withdraw at 4,300 to 43,200. I withdraw 10%, okay, of Bitcoin, and the rest I'm gonna just let it run. So I'm not gonna sell. If we go to 50
Oh,
something,
okay.
I don't care. I don't care because
Okay.
my target is even higher. If we're gonna
Perfect.
find a rejection from that area, like 52, 50, 48, whatever, and then we pull back, which I would want to see, and we talked about this. If we go to all-time high from here, probably it's not gonna be sustainable long term. Bitcoin needs a longer period to like stay in consolidation after a move like this, and maybe we can put it on the screen. Perfect. And maybe you can add the layout so we can see our faces in the corner. Some I think it's perfect. Yeah. So I think if Bitcoin goes from here to all-time high, I don't think it's good for the long term. You know, I don't think it's stable. I don't think Bitcoin, if it goes to all-time high, for example, in this move with no pullback or no retracement for a month, like usually it does, I think it's gonna be short-lived. Like if we go to all-time high, I think it's gonna be short-lived from my point of view. Okay, what I want to see, it's to see this point, this event, as some kind of a local top, and then probably sideways. That's what I want to see, okay, from Bitcoin. I don't want to see it going bonanza. I don't want to see it going to all-time high 80K, 70K, because it's not gonna hold from my point of view, and then the drop is gonna be even harder, and maybe the cycle is gonna be lower than expected from a lot of people. So I don't want to see that. I want to see 50 something K. I want to see a pullback. Then
Can I draw something Can I draw something which I think you want to see?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can draw it.
You can say it in the same time. And
yeah, so something like that, but then I want to pull back under 35K. So I want to pull
under
back
35K.
yes, I want to pull back under 35K. It doesn't have to be immediately. It can take
So
6 months.
wait a second. You are saying that you like something like, I don't know, something like this.
Yeah, so probably a 50 something K.
And after
then
that, you want something like this?
Yes, for 6 months down. I want 6 months down, coming to end of the year or something like that. I want a retracement for 6 months. Okay, 6 months of pain. Why 6 months? Because in 6 months a lot can change in regards to psychology. So I can give you an example. It's Solana. Solana 6 months ago was dead. Okay, no one was like talking about it. Was dead. Alameda is selling whatever, and then after 6 months, Solana pumped to $100, and everyone thinks again that it's the new coin, the future of finance, whatever. Okay, so psychology usually switches in like 6 months. Imagine if Bitcoin does not go above all-time high with this ETF and halving together. So you are in April. And Bitcoin is not about it's not over all-time high. Imagine what people will think. Okay, so we had this huge event, we build up into this huge event, and Bitcoin did not go to all-time high. Like just think about the psychology then, because people were going to ask themselves, hey, what's next? You know, what is next? Because it's very hard. You have this amazing event, like everyone is waiting, and then what's next? Because you need to go get close to that like feeling, you know, and probably you're not going to have it for Bitcoin. Anything that comes after, even the halving, is not going to be even close in relation to this event that we're seeing right now. So people are going to be, yeah, okay, halving is coming, but we need something bigger, because yeah, if you don't do something bigger, market's going to be, yeah, but we've seen something bigger. Now we need something even bigger to like do something, you know, and probably the market are not going to give them that. If Bitcoin does not go to all-time high after ETF and halving, probably people are going to lose faith again. If Bitcoin retraces for 6 months, it's going to be perfect. People are going to hate it again. It's like, okay, yeah, Bitcoin ETF, nothing happens, whatever, liquidity may be coming, maybe it's not coming. Why is the price going down? And so on. And in 6 months, people can become bearish again. in my view. And then again can be the second scenario when you might start another accumulation zone, and then towards the end of the year, I don't know, October, November, December, to start again a new cycle, the second one, because I think this is the first bull market cycle. So we're in the first one, and hopefully this is going to end with this ETF. If it's not ending and we go towards all-time high, then the cycle, in my view, is going to be shorter. And I don't think we're gonna reach. I don't think we're gonna go above 100K or even 80K sustainable level if we don't see some kind of correction. I don't think we're gonna hold that level. That's what I mean. To go to 200K, 250K. Like for me to have a 250K, which would be my target, probably in that area in 2025, late beginning of 2026. I want to see that. I don't want to see a quick all-time high, because that's going to be another exit liquidity, maybe bigger than this one. I would just want to see some kind of a pullback and sideways for people to lose faith again in regards to psychology, because ETF is coming, halving is coming, and pass, and then nothing happened. Like Bitcoin did not go to all-time high. And people will kind of lose faith if they're going to see price drop for 6 months. So then I'm going to become very bullish. So if I see that, long term, I'm going to be bullish. I think 200K, it's doable. If not, probably it's going to be very short-lived, and then we're not going to see too much in regards to the cycle. That's my view. It can be.
Yeah, if we go higher, I would not like to see it again under 30. I mean, to go back to 35,000, because, like you're saying, if the price is going to go back there, it means that for most likely for months we're going to stay in a longer period of accumulation. Yeah, it's perfect. I'm just saying, short to medium term, when it comes to the validity of the moves, I would not like to see something like that, because, like you're saying, it's going to take much more time for us to recover from there. However,
Okay.
However, right now, the thing what I'm saying, I mean, it's very hard for me to be even remotely bearish. Nothing from this current price action and price structure, nothing here, nothing tells me that we are bearish. The only thing that I would like to see more in order to confirm this, I would like to see another high and obviously a pullback from here. So we take out the highs from here, but with conviction. However, going forward, we can see maybe the same kind of price action which we had here. But
I was talking about psychology right now. I think the structure is different. If you look at the chart, of course, you cannot be bullish. You cannot be bearish on this. Like I was just talking about psychology and what people will like probably do if a certain scenario will happen. In regards to the chart, if we want to do technical analysis, of course, this looks bullish, okay? And it can continue to that levels that we said, 48, 52, in that range, maybe even a bit higher. It can.
If you want to talk psychology, I'll add my psychology thing here. And also, I think I'm going to write a thread. I'm not going to name. I was thinking to quote some of the traders that I follow, but most of the big traders which I follow, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers, most of them, 90% out of them, they're saying the same thing. Around 48, 50, we're going to get out of the market. Around, we're not going to touch all-time high. I think that
and
this...
we can shoot, right? And we can shoot above. That's what usually happens. Or not touch that area. Usually.
That's the difference. That's the thing, that because of psychology, if we're talking about psychology, and if these are the people who are, let's say, the most skilled, they have the highest follower counts, and most of them, they're saying that they want to exit anywhere between this area, because after that a big pullback is coming. I want to remind everybody, even myself, that one of the best properties Bitcoin has is to prove analysts wrong and to prove experts wrong, like ourselves. So what I want to do is just be freaking humble. When I will see at any point in time that we're losing market structures, yes, I'm not going to be bearish. But for now, and I want to write this thread, is about liquidity. There is nothing in this market who can tell me that this is anything bearish, even at higher levels. I don't want to speak about what are the potential scenarios. We are in such an uncertain period of time when it comes to macro, when it comes to central banks, when it comes to monetary policies globally, that I really think that any scenario is on the book, to the upside right now, but also to the downside. I see a lot of bullishness inside the market, and we saw a lot of bullishness. We saw meme coins like Analos pumping 300, 400, 500%. So what I've seen in the last 2-3 weeks actually makes me happy, because a lot of long leverage and a lot of things, you know, let's say nature got healed a little bit. But going forward with this kind of events which we have, I think that the pain trade is still up, in my opinion. I still think that there are a lot of people who are on the sidelines, and I still think that as long, for example, like there is nothing from here that tells me that we are bearish. There is nothing from here that like the demand was so big and the liquidity since October, the liquidity increase. It's like how much market cap of Tether increase. Tether market cap increase was $13 billion. So all this money comes from people who are sending money. If what Tether is saying is true, they sent billions of dollars. So from 83 almost to 94, $11 billion of new demand. This is new money which came inside the market. In order for, this is the process. In order for someone to have USDT, they will send, and I'm talking about big market participants, they will wire transfer to Tether, and Tether sends them back USDT. And the same process vice versa when they want to redeem it. So for me, seeing this kind of demand still in the market, but still Bitcoin being at this kind of levels, it's a way different conversation on the USDT market structure, because when it comes to liquidity, we are much, much higher. So my opinion, even from a psychology point of view, what I would like to see going forward is whatever the price want to do. Short to medium term, I cannot be anything but bullish, and I don't want to talk. I mean, at least for my perspective, I will not talk about any scenarios because I really think that is game on. Both
You
of
kind
the
of
sides.
need to have some kind of scenario in mind, like, or understand some kind of psychology. I understand that you're only looking at price, but I think you need to be ready for something to happen or not to happen. But of course,
Okay.
you're gonna look in the chart, right? And you're
Sure.
gonna see, okay, the direction. But how I like usually to position myself is just to understand how other people think. Usually,
Sure.
it's hard, of course, it's hard to understand that. But this scenario that I underlined, I just want to see it happen. For now, it's just a scenario. Like, I want to see it happen. I want to see that Bitcoin is not going above all-time high after the ETF news and maybe the halving. And I want to see a correction. Then it's going to tell me that probably we're going to get into that scenario. The scenario where people are going to be disappointed, in my view. Okay. So if we don't go above all-time high and we do something like that, and we just go down without all-time high, in my view, I think people are going to be disappointed, and this is what I want to see in order for me to buy. That was the thing, because I'm not going to buy this price because I already bought. I sold a little bit, but in order for me to buy again, that's what I want to see. I want to see people lose hope again in relation to Bitcoin in order for me to buy. If not, I'm not gonna buy. I'm just gonna follow the price as you do. But of course, I'm not gonna buy. I'm already positioned in the market. Okay, I'm just gonna roll that up. That's it. I'm not gonna buy again. If I see that and Bitcoin price is below 35K and I see people again losing hope, I'm gonna buy again. That's the scenario, that's why I'm underlining this scenario, because that's what my plan is. If it goes up from here, I'm just gonna stick with the position. I'm not gonna sell. We'll see what price it's gonna go afterwards. If it goes below 35 or 30, to see some kind of a pain in the market and people lose hope, which they can do in a span of 6 months, then I'm gonna be a buyer again. Okay. If not, I'm not gonna buy. I'm just gonna keep my.
So, for example, if Bitcoin, let's say, does something like this, and
Yeah.
from here, where is the pullback? Let's say from here pulls back towards the breakout area from 45. You're not gonna buy at 45.
No.
And if
I'm not gonna buy.
if it pulls back to 4, let's say even more, it pulls back 35%, and people will say that here we lost this structure, and we are already at 38. After a 35% pullback, you're still not gonna buy.
Maybe I will consider there, but probably I want to lower. I want it lower, because this can be, as I said, maybe it can be an exit liquidity, and if it is, it's gonna take longer in order to come down. Then.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not going to be in a hurry. If it goes up, I'm already positioned, which a lot of people should have done. Like now,
Sure.
in my view, it's risky to position now in Bitcoin, to like buy 45K. It's risky, but depends on your plan. If you buy now to hold it for 5 years, probably it's going to be higher in 5 years. and probably it's going to be above 45,000. But you're going to buy it here and expect that it's going to double, how I see on the internet. Like I bought Bitcoin, someone told me it's going to double because the ETF is coming. Then you're probably going to be disappointed. Like most of the time, you can be lucky, right? It can go this time, you know, it can go in your favor. It can go 80K, 100K, and then you're going to double your money. But that it's luck, and it's not risk reward in order to buy this level. If that's what you're expecting. If you want to buy this level, you buy it with a plan, like 5 years. 5 years, in my point of view, yeah, Bitcoin is going to be higher. But if your mind is set for like, yeah, 3 months, I'm going to be rich, I'm putting 100K, cashing out 200K because I've heard whatever, then it's not. Probably you're going to be the exit liquidity for these people, you know. And a lot of the times, this is what's happening in the market. Retail are exit liquidity most of the time. Okay. As far as I saw the markets, because I'm here for like a while, as you are, Mr. Spread, you know, and I think you've seen these kind of events and how they end usually.
I've seen this kind of events, but I have to admit that this is the first time when we're gonna see this kind of event for this kind of asset class, and I have no idea. Like,
okay, so Mr.
I don't know. I mean, this is
different.
I'm not saying that this time is different from when it comes, like it's different when it comes to history of Bitcoin. So nobody can expect anything, in my opinion, from psychological view, from price perspective, nothing. The only truth there, in my opinion, will be the price. I mean, how can anybody even have even a remotely close with any kind of delta you want in percentage, like any deviation you would want for something that never happened? I mean, what's happening now never happened for Bitcoin.
Correct, but that's a good thing and a bad thing, as I said.
Sure.
For example, you're a big singer, right? So you sing, and at some point you're having a big hit, very, very big hit. Like everyone's playing, you're number one everywhere, right? Everywhere on the planet, you're number one. And then you get another song, but now you're number 3. How people will look at that? It's like, okay, number 3, but you were number 1 for 10,000 days. This is good and bad, because what will be the event bigger than this? That's the question, you know. What will drive Bitcoin?
I didn't follow the analogy.
So because it's hard to reach that level. You know, again, so the level, you know, you're a singer, you have a hit every day,
but you have to be the only singer with those qualities in your life. I mean, no other singer has your qualities, correct?
But that's what I mean. In relation to you, people will expect something bigger, correct? So it's like, okay, yeah, you've done this before, your hit was number 1, but yeah, it was number 1 for 100 weeks, but people will want then 200 weeks. You know, if you do the same thing again, it's like, okay, my song is again 100 weeks in first place.
But how can you? Okay, let me talk on your analogy. How can you price in the impact of your next hit if your next hit never happened before?
Yeah, but you're gonna do another song, right? And if your song, like Bitcoin, is gonna do another song, it's gonna do the halvening, or how would you wanna call it?
So yeah, and after that is gonna be the next country who's gonna. After that is gonna be the next country who's gonna adopt it. After that is gonna be another big company.
Than the ETF, in my view. Like even Apple, if Apple says, okay, you know what, I don't think it's gonna be bigger than this event.
In my opinion, Apple adopting Bitcoin is bigger than the ETF, and I'm gonna say it live.
Not adopting Bitcoin, just buying it. You know,
buying Bitcoin and holding it on the balance sheet, it can be a bigger event in terms to adoption, because everybody who has a smartphone or an Apple product can have access to Bitcoin in the future. It would be a bigger access to global adoption.
That's what you need, right? In a span of a few months, like that's what you need. You need another huge event, and I don't think halving is close to the ETF.
But wait a second, because the difference, and what I want to clarify here, the ETF is not a one-time hit event. The ETF and the approval of ETF is just the opening of the floodgates that will come. The approval of the ETF is just means that financial institutions around the world, starting with the big ones like Van Eck, Fidelity, BlackRock, etc., they will have how can someone price in how much demand? Maybe it's not going to be any demand. Maybe it's going to be just
I'm not saying about pricing. I'm thinking about how people will think about it, because they will have short memory. Like how people will think about it. That's what I mean. It's not really the demand. The demand, yeah, can come for Bitcoin. I mean how people will look at it, because that's how the manipulation can be done from these big institutions, by like messing around with people's heads, So that's what I'm trying to figure out in relation to Bitcoin. But going from the Bitcoin, I don't think this is not what I'm following right now. I know it can be shocking, but I'm not really following what's going to happen to Bitcoin when the ETF is approved, because I think that's going to probably be, in my point of view, some kind of Bitcoin dominance top scenario, in my view.
Okay.
So what I'm following right now, like very closely, when the first time I hear the ETF is approved, of course I'm going to look a little bit of the Bitcoin price, see what it does. But second thing, I'm going to go and look at ETH versus Bitcoin price. That's what I'm going to follow, because I think, in my point of view, the play for 2024 after the Bitcoin ETF is approved is ETH versus Bitcoin, so Ethereum, in my view. So if I see this, for example, ETF is approved, Bitcoin skyrockets 52k, 55, whatever, and I see this collapsing like to, I don't know, 40043 or in that range, I think that might be an event that might be interesting for me to buy in that range again for this parity, So this is what I'm following. I'm not following that much, really. Like, I'm not going with the crowd. The crowd is always looking at like Bitcoin and whatever. I'm looking at this mainly, okay, because this is what I'm interested right now. It's Ether. Why? Because in the past year, Bitcoin was inflationary and Ether was not. If you look at the Sound Money, I don't know if you have the website. You can see that in the last year, this was actually deflationary.
But wait a second. I want to debate this here with you, and it's very good.
We can debate
if Bitcoin was inflationary and Ethereum was deflationary, why we have this, and why ETH BTC is still puking against Bitcoin?
I said in the past year is not, and Bitcoin has the narrative right now. Like, that's why this is puking, because Bitcoin has the narrative and is puking from another perspective. Other altcoins performed, and this one did not. What did I learn from the crypto space? If something is hated, and people hate now Ethereum, it's like I receive message from people. It's like, what is Ethereum doing? What is this stable coin? Does not do anything. I'm gonna move my money to Solana. I'm gonna move my money to Avax, whatever. And this is perfect for me. This is what I want to see in order to be interested, like in an asset in the crypto space, like to see like some kind of narrative developing afterwards, not like in the same moment to buy the top. Yeah, this is what I want to see. I want to see something like, I want to see this bleeding out. I want to see people losing faith in Ethereum, and I'm very, very interested. And if we're gonna see this like puking down when the ETF is like approved, I'm gonna be even more interested in Ethereum, because I don't know, it's gonna sound shocking, but I think Ethereum is gonna outperform Bitcoin in the next 2 years, in my view. After it finds a bottom, and the bottom might be this one, because what's next?
So wait a second, you mean outperform? You mean that it's gonna have an all-time high versus Bitcoin?
Yes, I think it's gonna happen. That's why I'm very, very paying close attention to this. I don't know if you found the ultrasound money, but we can go there.
But even if I found, I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, I don't believe in ultrasound money, and I'm gonna sound like a Bitcoin maxi, because even if you have ultrasound money, which is the ETH, I think that ultrasound money is just a marketing gimmick, because how can you speak about inflation or not inflation about an asset which then does not have a total supply?
Yes, it does not have a total supply, but you can see clearly if you go down and if you press from the merge, you have like after you have a small emoji. No, you passed it. You pass it down, left. That one, exactly that one. Yeah. So if you go up now, you can see that in the past year it is deflationary. Okay, it is deflationary. It does not have a total supply. Yes. Can things change and this become highly inflationary? Yes. But for now, I like the narrative. Okay, I like it. From my point of view, it's what I want to see. Hate. I want to see the supply decreasing in the past year. I want to see the TVL. If you go to DeFi Llama, you're going to see that the difference between Ethereum and Solana, it's huge. still like very, very huge. Plus you have Arbitrum and you have Optimism that have TVL as well. So if you go here,
Sure.
like for me, it's the easiest play when the Bitcoin ETF is gonna be approved, like Ethereum, in my point of view. If you put there Ethereum, you're gonna see the total value locked, and it's huge compared to Solana, for example. It's huge in my view. Okay, Solana, it's way overhyped, and people.
I agree with this. With this, I agree, but I cannot, and that's why it makes these shows great, because we can agree to disagree. And I don't agree that with the narrative that Bitcoin was inflationary while Ethereum. I mean, I cannot. I just cannot agree.
Well, in the past year, it's there. It's data. Like,
so why we don't see it in the price? Why we don't see it in the price?
Well, I already said, because we had the ETF narrative for Bitcoin and no one was interested. Plus, the other shitcoins rallied very, very hard.
We're speaking about Ethereum, Bitcoin. It's like if you take two assets, which was the one which performed better? I don't care.
But it's not only Ethereum.
Why should I care? Why should I care about the? Why should I care about the sound money and the fact that this was deflationary? Ethereum was deflationary, when I would have lost real money if I would have kept it in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, just not to keep it in Bitcoin. I mean, even being deflationary, this lost how much? 36% compared to Bitcoin.
Of course, but price is not everything. For example, Solana, right? Solana, if Solana went up, it doesn't mean that it does something like to change the future. Or if Tao when it goes up, it doesn't mean. It just means that some market makers saw the opportunity and did that with those coins. Okay, but in
long term, we should all retrade to Bitcoin, right? Because all of the shit coins, including Ethereum, are gonna go down in Bitcoin. I mean, in Bitcoin prices, there is none of the crypto coins compared to Bitcoin that went up on long term. I'm not saying that the one that just rallied.
Yes. For now, it's true. There are just a few that stick with that. Binance was the scenario, but now it's going down versus
long term.
Bitcoin. Sure. We'll see long term. Long term, you need to come back to Bitcoin because of the supply. But can it be a narrative going forward? For example, another year from now, right? You look at the ultrasound money and you see again deflationary. So you have 1 year can be like a mistake, 1 year. But if you look next year and see again deflationary, you're gonna be okay. Then something is happening right there. Bitcoin has some kind of inflation. Ethereum is kind of working as smart contracts, all this TVL, everything locked in, and it's still deflationary. That would be an amazing thing. And then probably Ethereum is going to come close to competing with Bitcoin in relation to some kind of a store of value. It's too early, but we need to follow and see what this narrative is coming out. But I like it. So far,
I agree with you. I agree with you one thing. That around those levels, if we go so far, I think it's going to be so hated that I might also, but just for the narrative, I might also flip some of my profits from Bitcoin to Ethereum, because it's going to be, in terms of value, is going to be so undervalued. What I don't like right now regarding Ethereum, or what I like regarding Bitcoin, is that since the last time when we had this kind of ETH BTC discussions in the last cycle, a lot of new things were implemented on the Bitcoin chain. I mean, now we have BRC20. We're having smart contracts. So we have a lot of new tech, fresh tech, even NFTs. So a lot of things that we didn't have in the past, and Ethereum had. So a lot of advantages.
See what I said earlier. Right now, Bitcoin is turning a little bit into Ethereum, and Ethereum is turning a little bit into Bitcoin. It's crazy if you think about it. It's crazy if you think about it, but it's true, So that's why I think that, eventually people will understand that Ethereum, it's kind of going deflationary, and they're going to see all the total value, all the things that happen with Ethereum. And I think they're going to be, okay, it's like, it's like bing light above your head. Is like, okay, Ethereum. So probably that I think that's going to happen. And I'm following this closely. Like, in relation to the ETF, I'm not really that interested in what Bitcoin price is going to do. I'm interested in what this is going to do. So if this capitulates, goes down, and we're going to find a capitulation around that level, I'm going to be a fan. I want to be a huge fan, but it's not financial.
You know what happens with this chart? The thing with this chart is that if Bitcoin crashes, this chart crashes. If Bitcoin rallies, this chart rallies. So regardless what's happening with Bitcoin on the ETF, this chart crashes.
Right. Yes. Correct. It's perfect. I love it. I love it. Let's do it. Let's
No,
try something.
I would also watch it on that, because like there are two scenarios where I want to buy ETH. Either when it's gonna break this huge macro downward channel, so above 0.057, and with more certainty above 0.61, so to destroy this macro downtrend channel to print the first high of this bearish sequence of higher highs and higher lows, or much lower when it's just gonna make, like, it's gonna be stupid cheap in sense of Bitcoin in sats, under, like, I don't know, 0.044 or 0.004, around this area. I think only on this kind of levels I would start to flip some of my profits from Bitcoin to Ethereum. But on this case, I will flip my profits only if Bitcoin rallies harder, not if Bitcoin dumps.
Okay, can you I'll tell you a phrase and let me know if you agree. It's
Sure.
harder to buy the bottom. Like, it's hard to buy the bottom. Is it
I'm
hard to buy the bottom?
I'm never gonna I'm never gonna chase the bottom. I'm
But
never gonna
usually
follow
it's
the bottom.
hard, to buy the bottom. But we know we're not
Sure.
buying the bottom with the full, like, 100% of the capital. Of course, we're like some kind of like nibbling or like some kind of a DCA towards the bottom. But usually it's hard to, like, especially in crypto. Crypto is very hard to buy bottoms in my point of view.
100%.
Because you're gonna have the most pain, and I think this is coming closer to that. It's not full pain right now for Ethereum, because look at it in this perspective. Solana rallied, Avax rallied, everything rallied against Ethereum. Like, everything rallied. Like, the Ethereum like holders are in pain right now. Are in pain.
Which
like,
holders? Ethereum holders? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't feel it. No, they're just. I just think that they're just bored. But we're talking ETH. We're talking ETH versus BTC. But if we're talking ETH versus the dollar, I think it's a very nice bullish structure.
Still in pain. I talk to people daily. We hold Ethereum, nothing happens. It's a stable coin. Yeah, if people don't understand, Ethereum did not retrace 98%. That's first. People don't understand 100%. Math. Usually, like, 98% is huge, or 99% is huge in regards to, like, retracement.
People have short memories, like you said.
Yes, and yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see some kind of hate in relation to this, and I see it, and I think it's gonna keep growing, and when it's growing, I'm gonna be there to buy it. Okay, that's how I do it usually, and it works. How it happened with Solana, for example. People forget that Alameda has a lot of Solana that they will sell eventually. Who cares now? Who cares? The price is going up. Who cares? Solana does that. Solana, yeah. So I do think still, maybe some people are gonna disagree, but Ethereum tech is better than Solana tech at this point in time. It's more tested. It's more I don't know, accurate in relation to, like, how the transactions are taking place, what is built on the chain, and so on. I don't think Solana is there yet. Like, I can maybe get hate for this, but I don't think it's there. It might be there. Who knows? Solana is not. It's in beta now. People don't.
I would say two things. I don't think Ethereum is gonna flip Bitcoin this cycle, or any cycle going forward. Maybe I'm not gonna say,
Ethereum.
And Solana is not gonna flip Ethereum.
Okay, I think I maybe can agree with that scenario.
Because after this Bitcoin ETF is approved, like, what's the next step for them? Because you're also asking about the next step. Well, the next step for the whole crypto space can be an Ethereum ETF, can be a whole basket of cryptos ETF, like a blue chip.
But that's for the entire space. It's not for Bitcoin.
So the entire space can grow, and we all know, because, for example, if at some point in time the ETH ETF is going to be approved, ETH is going to rally against Bitcoin also, and those profits are going to flip to altcoins, to mid caps, and after large cap, mid caps, and small caps. And what's going to happen? The full cycle, and after that, those profits are going to be rolled over to Bitcoin again, and Bitcoin can rally even without no narrative. And we saw that even in the bear market, can rally just because people are just transferring their huge profits back to Bitcoin for safety.
But in order for Bitcoin to go and sustain certain level of price, you need first some altcoins and Ethereum to rally in order to create liquidity, and then pass it
to rally. True.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You need a different cycle than you had so far with Bitcoin.
100%.
Yeah, you need
100%.
some different cycle in order to like the second wave, for example, in order for this to keep going higher, like for Bitcoin to reach 200K. You need more. You need more than what we have now, from my point of view, in order for that to happen. But that's my view, and I think
agree.
the pain for this year, in my point of view, would be for the Ethereum to rally by itself. I think that would be a pain for most people in like crypto, because a lot of them don't hold Ethereum. They hold right now, they sold Ethereum, they put money into shitcoins and so on. And I think if Ethereum rallies in 2024 more than other altcoins, that would be a pain scenario from my point of view for the market. But yeah, Ethereum is harder to like pump as you see other coins, because it has a higher market cap. But again, if the cycle switches and then all this money that was put into these smaller caps right now, like get out from those small caps and get into the Ethereum, then you can pump Ethereum to 3.5k 4k till the end of the year, maybe 5k in my point of view. So I think Ethereum might trade in that range this year, I would say.
Yeah, the next level for me, if we go above 2.5, I think it's 2.9. It's 3k. It's 3k easily for that. I think that the speed with which can happen, so we can see three.
Yeah,
it can happen much faster than a lot of people are
it can
expecting.
happen in a week. Happen in a week. Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna go to 3.5, but anywhere in around, like I think in this area like Ethereum can go very, very, very fast.
Yeah, I would say 1 week in my view. Let's leave it like this, and we're gonna watch this live stream maybe after.
That's gonna be very nice to watch it going forward. You know what? Let me just lock it here.
Yeah, how much is that? 40% maybe?
I don't think it's so much even. It's like 36%.
That can be in a few days, actually.
I agree with this.
Yeah,
with this, especially with this structure, man. I mean, look at this structure. If you look at ETH USDT, as long as this, even short term, this, I really like the fact that when we had that pullback from Bitcoin, we held above 2,145, which, as you can see, it was a major area since we broke out above it in the beginning of December. So look, this is support, and this was nice, and we had some weeks here. And as long as we stay above this level, I don't see any reason of concern. Yes, it's ranging, and it's a very, very dull market. But there is one old saying in crypto, in trading, actually, not in crypto, that goes like, you would never short a boring market. I mean, I would never.
It's ranging like Bitcoin around 25 to 30k. That's how I see it right now, and it's waiting.
I agree.
It's worth 25k if you want to think about it like that, and in relation right now.
Yes, this can be 25, this can be 28, and this can be the former 30k.
Yeah, when that's gonna break, the hell is gonna break loose.
You know what? Let's just go there. Let's just go there, for some people to remember where we were and what we were talking about. So this was like where it was the 28.5. This was the 20. This was the 25. Where is the 25? Okay, this was the 25 area. And we were just ranging, and after that we broke out above it. And when we just broke out above that area, like the same thing can happen on here. We're just ranging. Of course, it was a different market structure, if we're be honest, because this was bearish and this was accumulated. So here was bearish, if you remember, it was quite bearish.
Yeah, it was a bit bearish, but then it was a little bit of different structure on. If you look at.
But I agree with you. I agree that because this was a nasty range, and when we broke out above it, and the same thing can happen here. This can be like the ball under the water effect. We are rejecting. That's why I said I really hope that buyers of ETH can hold the price above 2,145, because if we drop under this level, I think this area can be opened.
I do think it has all the characteristics of like pushing higher in 2024, and I think for me, 2.5k is a level to watch for this year. And you have the I know you don't like it, but the ultrasound money, you have that some kind of a deflation a little bit.
No, I like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it in relation with Bitcoin, but I agree with what you said in general.
You have the market structure, which still looks good.
Very bullish, actually.
You have the hate. You have the hate that is like building. So you have everything, in my view. This is a very easy play from my point of view for 2024 for someone who does not want to take so much risk in the market. So this would be from my point of view, easy play in that relation to risk. Like it's gonna be less riskier than put your money into Solana or put your money into anything else than the Bitcoin. To have like a risk reward, good risk reward, because this did not rally yet. And others already rallied, especially Bitcoin. Okay, and once the ETF is approved, I think this can have finally its moment. Like ETF is approved, then yeah, maybe a crash in relation to Bitcoin, and then the narrative can switch and the money can switch towards Ethereum. And
ETHUSDT, in my opinion, sorry to interrupt you there. ETHUSDT, in my opinion, if I look at Ichimoku, the only indicator that I use, is very bullish on like higher time frames. I mean, we just flipped here. We just went above
we exited the cloud. Yeah,
we exited the cloud. The cloud looks bullish here on daily, actually. So short to medium term. On daily, we need to stay above the cloud. So what we don't want to see here, we don't want the price to go under, and Kinjunsen and Tenkan-sen also to follow up. But for now, looks bullish, and this is a confluence of supports, in my opinion. So, you know, it's the intersection between the flat top of the Kumo with 2,145 area. We had the demand, the bounce. The only thing that I really need right now, or I want to see another higher high in this structure. But this looks legit. This looks legit.
Yeah, but this is what I'm gonna personally follow. So I'm gonna personally follow Ethereum. I think Bitcoin it's already like hyped and whatever, and I don't really go with hype usually. I'm trying to find
a smart guy.
I'm trying to look the other way around, you know, to look at other things that might play out bullish in the future. So I think I'm gonna look at this very, very closely when
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Would you allocate from your stablecoin stash, or would you move your profits from Bitcoin? It's an interesting question.
I am moving from Bitcoin.
Smart.
From now, I'm moving from Bitcoin. Like if I see this collapse, I'm just gonna move from Bitcoin. I'm not gonna allocate from my USDT. I'm gonna allocate from Bitcoin.
You like these levels?
Yes,
like 004 and 00.
If we go there, I'm gonna allocate in between 3 and 5% probably.
So in this area,
I think more towards 5. I think more towards 5 in that area. Yeah.
So you're gonna be very aggressive in this area.
Yes, I will be very aggressive in that area, but I think it's gonna be a potential of a bottom. Can it go lower? Always can go lower. Like always can go lower. That's why
I'm go low. Yeah. I want to ask you one more question here, because I really like the fact that you said that you're gonna switch from your Bitcoin profits. But in what scenario you're gonna switch from your Bitcoin profits? If Bitcoin dumps or if Bitcoin rallies?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so regardless if Bitcoin dumps from here and this dumps, okay.
Regardless.
This is where we are different on this strategy. Okay. The only different thing that I would do here, I would allocate from, maybe just because it's gonna look so cheap to Bitcoin, I'm just gonna allocate from my stable coin instead of losing my Bitcoin to ETH. So that's the only thing that I would do. If this dumps because of a Bitcoin dump, I'm not gonna flip from Bitcoin to Ethereum. I'm just gonna add from stablecoin. It's just a different approach. That's what I agree with you.
I don't think that will dump. Just to be clear, I don't think that will reach that level. In my view, the only way we're gonna reach that level if Bitcoin pumps. Like that's how I see it. Like because in this cycle it kind of went like that. So I don't know if it's gonna change now, but I think like the probability is that if Bitcoin pumps, that's gonna drop to that level. If Bitcoin collapses, probably that's not gonna happen, because in my point of view, the money already flowing out from Bitcoin and gets ready to enter.
So if Bitcoin dumps, do you think that this is gonna stay stable? It's not gonna drop more?
No, I don't think it's gonna touch that level. No, if Bitcoin
it's not gonna touch it.
No, it might go up. It might go up. It might go up
in
my view. Yeah, it might go up in my view. Yeah, it might go up. That's how I see it. But we'll have to see how it's gonna play out. The ETF might be approved today, might be approved Wednesday, might be delayed. But yeah, do you think it's a chance of a delay right now? I don't think so, right? It's like a very slim.
Well, let me tell you this. If I would be Gensler, right, I think that Gensler, although a lot of people, I think that Gensler is Ethereum right now. A lot of people are shitting on Ethereum, and a lot of people are shitting on Gensler. But I was thinking, and I'm always thinking a little bit outside the box as like the devil's attorney. I think that Gensler did something very smart, if you ask me. He played this as a very smart poker player. And he delayed it, and he created such a hype, and he has so much power. Just think about it. Think about how much power he has, decisional power, when it comes with the approval, right? So if he delays it right now, I think he can lose some of his bargaining chips, if you ask me. But if he approves it right now, And after that, he's not going to work for SEC anymore, because I don't think he's going to continue as a SEC chair after 2024.
History. Yeah.
First of all, he's going to remain in history, and he was kind of a Bitcoin promoter first of all, and second of all,
yes.
If you think about it, in BlackRock, VanEck, Fidelity, in all these big Oaktree, all these big ones, right, that are right now applying for a Bitcoin ETF, if he exits, if I would be Gensler, I would be like, I would still want to be friends with these guys, right? I'll show them that I have good negotiation skills, and I'm playing hardball, and it's not easy to get past through me, but I would still approve it towards the end. It's like everything that you're negotiating, you have to make it like an interesting negotiation, but don't push those people to their absolute max until they're like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna go to the other way, and I'm gonna find another way how to strong arm you. I think that he was very tactical. I think he was very strategical, and he really made these people want this ETF and work for this ETF quite a lot. And now when he's gonna he's gonna look like Xerxes. You remember the movie 300 when Xerxes was facing Leonidas? He's like, I'm a generous god. The same thing is gonna happen right now with him. He's gonna approve the ETF, and when he's gonna go out from the SEC, he's gonna have some, he's gonna have some leverage. He's gonna have leverage with BlackRock. He's gonna have leverage. Maybe he's gonna pursue a career as an advisor for one of these big firms, as a crypto 100%. Advisor. Maybe 100%. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense, but this is how would I approach it.
Yeah, 100%.
This is how they approach it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be approved.
Gary kind of a smart guy. He kind of understands the space, maybe more than the normal user of crypto, let's say. He understands that's a lot of scams as well, and they are. A lot of scams, and he wants that gone from the space. It's what a regulator will do. That's his job basically. A lot of people hate him, but he's probably trying to do the right thing. I would say, of course, he's probably influenced from a lot of people as well, but we don't know that for sure. We can speculate that he can be influenced, but
what was the name? I want to bring up something to you today. What was the name of that latest publication which bring up the FUD because markets, or what was their name? Better Markets or something? Better Markets. What
FUD are you talking about?
The one that they just said, these guys. The one that they just submitted some new letters to SEC why the Bitcoin ETF should not be approved.
Okay, yes.
Look, the SEC must prevent mass investor harm. Okay. Now, if you look there at their testimonials, I think it was Elizabeth Warren among their testimonials, and Gary Gensler. Okay. So these guys actually posted something on the 3rd of January, and because of them we had this liquidation. Now, if you ask me, it's like, protect investors. Are you serious? Who protected the investors when we had the 2008 crash? Who protected the investors when we had the Silicon Valley Bank crash and First Republic? It's like, let me show you just. Let me just show you one chart.
You cannot protect the investors.
Let me show you one chart. Come on.
If the investors wants to buy something, they'll probably find a way to do it.
WeWork. I want to find it in US.
Oh yeah, WeWork. Yeah, was a huge hype with WeWork.
So who protected the US investors on this? Please tell me.
Yeah, it looks like Terra Luna.
It was like a freaking rug pull, right? And this was like a huge valuation back in October 2020. And even here, I think it was $70-80 billion. And look what's right now. It was trading at, this is a full rug pull, okay? Mr. Gary Gensler, Mr. Better Markets. Who protected the investors from United States against this? How many people lost their funds? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
The only people who can protect the investors are themselves. And what you can do as a financial authority, have clear rules for everybody to understand how to play by your rules. That's it. But you really think that if you deny a Bitcoin ETF, this is what actually is the problem with the United States regulation and the United States trading environment and investing environment? Come on, let's be serious.
Yeah, it's not really possible to fully protect the investors. You can have some rules, of course, that other companies can abide by in these financial markets, but it's very, very hard to protect the investors fully. Maybe you have more protection here in the stock market than in crypto, I can agree with that. But crypto is kind of a free market, and if you're gonna take something good for what happened in the past 2 years, crypto did not need a bailout in order to survive. FTX, all this 3RO, everything went down, belly up, and crypto still survived. Like Bitcoin is above that level now. So yeah, it shows that it's a free market so far, from my point of view, because they did not save that those companies.
What do you think about this? And I agree with what you said. That's why I love what's happening in crypto, because there is nobody who's going to come to save you. And
this looks bullish, like 48, 50, it's kind of there. Maybe more a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, it's very bullish. Looks bullish for Bitcoin here.
This is a supply area
below what's that level of invalidation?
40K.
40K. Yeah, under 40K, you can save 40.4.
It's 40. Yeah, for me it was around 40.2 because it was that weak from here. So if we lose it, but now it's like if we go under this
higher a little bit, yeah.
So I think this is the supply area, and in my opinion, this is the demand area. If we lose this, this is a full range, like you said. I don't think that, in my opinion, and with my experience also, I would not trade this at all. I think this is just a chop. I think this is just a death range.
I'm not trading it now.
Anybody who's trading here is like, either you have to be a maniac, either you have to have like very strict stop losses, and I would trade like a fourth of my usual size if I would trade like. Okay, swings. You buy here, you sell here. You buy somewhere in this area, you sell somewhere in this area. But at any point in time, you can see a cascade of liquidations, in a week or to the top
backwards,
side.
Or backwards, up and then under 40K. It can happen. Like both bulls and bears to be right in this type of scenario. That's why like technical analysis here, in my view, does not make any sense, because the move is gonna be emotional. So the move is gonna be very emotional here. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But
I will add something.
Yeah, sorry. It looks bullish.
It looks. That's what I wanted to say. Is like, if someone would ask me, okay, this is a chart. You don't know what asset is it. You have no idea. You're on a daily, and just tell me what's your opinion about this chart. Cold charting. I was like I have no reason right now to be bearish on this chart, and the probabilities are to go higher. I don't know, 48. And if I look back on the chart, not knowing that this is Bitcoin, let's do something. Not knowing that this is Bitcoin, let's see which is the first level. It would be around 48.
We agreed there that the probability is 48, 50, maybe
52.
Yeah,
52.
Yeah.
So this would be my next areas, and 58-ish, somewhere around this area. So if someone would ask me,
like XPX, that would be XPX, SPX. Yeah, if it's gonna do that, it's gonna resemble a little bit what happened to the stock market.
Okay, since you mentioned the SPX, let's open the SPX chart also. I think we covered quite a lot of ground when it came to Bitcoin. We had some nice debates.
We're gonna be back for altcoins 100%. Yeah, for some altcoin charting. But guys, if you like the stream, just press the like button and leave a comment. Are you here? If you're here, I can see around 170 people. You can really press the like button and leave a comment, and maybe we're gonna put it on the screen.
Very interesting what you said there, and I kind of agree with what you're saying. The only thing is that it in order to resemble the S&P 500, it would have to come very close to the all-time high.
Yes, correct.
So maybe around 65 somewhere.
But S&P 500 did not do all-time high. So
no, it was how much, like 0.1
though. Yeah, very close. But Nasdaq did. But yeah, the financial markets, like the traditional markets, like S&P 500, looks bearish now a little bit, like in a retracement mode. If we look about it, I think 4,500 might be a target for S&P 500.
I'm bullish here. So if someone asks me, as long as we stay above 4,600, so even if we see it here, I'm bullish. Under this, so if we lose this area from here, I'm neutral up to 4,420, and from here I will decide. But on this structure, which still looks good, because this is a normal retrace, I think, after this massive run-up, as long as we stay above 4,600, I'm still bullish. And actually, I'm thinking about swing longing if we tap and bounce from this area to attack the new all-time high. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, under 4,500, I'll be bearish. for this, and confirmation will be below 4,300. So under 4,300, I think it's over. I think we're gonna be closer to a scenario like in the past, closer to all-time high, and then we're gonna go down into a recession. So yeah, but till that point, I'm remaining bullish here for the stock market. But I think on the short term, I think we're gonna have a small uptick, and then probably we might have this correction down to 4,600 or 500 from my point of view. Yeah, a small bounce if you go to 4 hours, for example.
Let me go to 4 hours. Let me move Ichimoku.
Yeah, I think a bounce and maybe a continuation to that level that you have there can be in place here, but still looks good. It might be a deviation to the downside, that one that we're seeing right now. Yeah, it still can be a deviation.
This can be a deviation, right? Like this.
Still can be, but we'll have to see the bounce and see where it's gonna stop. But yeah, we cannot be bearish. But I think this went down a little bit at the first day or second day of trading of 2024 because of the tax implication. I think a lot of people
very likely.
Yeah, very likely. And plus we have we had the FOMC minutes, which it's kind of related in that is not going to be 6. It's crazy because the stock market now thinks that we're going to cut 6 times this year.
I don't believe so. I don't believe. The only reason
that's why I think it's priced in right now, which is crazy if you think about it, because we're not going to cut. And even though we're going to cut 6 times, it means that we're going to be in a recession if we cut 6 times.
That's I also agree.
So 3 times should be the level of soft landing. Above 3, it's going to be a recessionary environment from my point of view. So it's crazy, but I think the stock market really looks now for more than 3 cuts in 2024 from Jerome Powell. And the first one coming, I don't know, in the next meeting, which probably is not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to. I'm going to say it on record live. He's not going to cut on the next meeting.
Yeah, me neither.
Let me do this. It's like a 90% chance that he's not going to cut, but I still want to see the CPI data. And since we are here at this, what do you think that we're going to watch a bit on the
Let's go to the economic calendar. That would be great if you have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Thursday, after the ETF is going to be approved or not, we'll have to wait and see. We have the CPI. Have you seen the unemployment numbers? Again, I think there's something wrong with those numbers, especially with the non-farm payrolls. Every month they retrace the numbers. Have you seen that? Like every month.
I'm trading NFP for 13 years right now, right? Or the reaction after the NFP, because most of the time the reaction is vice versa. And I can tell you one thing: the NFP numbers can be revised. And what I'm focusing on is the unemployment rate, and those numbers don't lie. I mean, who am I? Okay, here we can see a big revision of these numbers, right? But the unemployment rate shows exactly how is the job market in the United States. And for now, regardless of what some people want to say, it's still good. I mean, it's super resilient.
On numbers, it looks great. 3.7, it's very stable. Like no recession. You cannot talk about recession if you're below 4.1, 4.2 in that range. Like it's very hard to talk about the recession. But what I'm asking is like the non-farm payrolls. That's what concerning to me, because they're trying to pump the numbers into an election year, and usually it does not turn out well for the long term when this happens. I don't think it was a month in the past 6 or 7 months when they did not do a revision of the non-farm payrolls.
They do this a lot, Daniel. They do this a lot because this is a very hard data.
It's always down. In the past might be a bit up at some, but now in the past 6-7 months, it's always down. Like revision down, 40, 50.
That's why don't look at it. Don't put so much weight from your, in my opinion, and this is a suggestion, don't put so much weight from your framework on the NFP and just look more at the unemployment rate. And for unemployment rate is something monthly that I look at and say, okay, let's see what's happening. And if you want a more live look, for example, like we have this week and we have every week, you look at the unemployment claims. And for God's sakes, the unemployment claims, they are near the 200 range. Okay, they went to 220. But in my opinion, as long as the unemployment claims are not above 250, going toward 300, and after that above, there's no reason to think that the job market in the United States is having issues. So in my opinion, I don't want to talk about soft landing. I'm just looking at the data which we have. Of course, this can change from month to month or from week to week if something breaks, but we need also continuous of things to break. But for now, I'm analyzing what I'm seeing. And if there is one thing that I'm going to do in 2024, which I didn't do in 2023, is that in 2023, macro was 15% out of my framework and my positioning. Now it's only 5%, and maybe I would have,
that's a huge drop.
And I can tell you why. And I can say that I was wrong to have so much weight in the macro, because maybe if macro was less in my analysis, I would have also been a little bit more aggressive towards altcoins, right? So maybe my entries for altcoins were a little bit better. I cannot complain because my entries for Bitcoin are very good, but because macro, and here's the thing with macro, you can be right on macro with your thesis, but and you can be wrong with the timing. You can be wrong with the macro for from the beginning, and it can take 3 years until your thesis can play out. So what I think is, I think that 2024, the pain trade is still up for equities. I still think that the XY has a room to fall, as long as we stay under 104.5 area. And because of this, I think that risk still is in a good environment. Besides that, we were talking about the BTFP program, if you remember, that kind of life jacket for banks. Yeah. And I've read quite a lot during this break which we had, and this was a very nice lifeline for banks, and it turned out to be kind of a stealth quantitative easing, if you can call it like that. So it was reducing the effects of QT, of net quantitative tightening that they had, by still allowing banks to tap on that lifeline when they had problems, So the effects on the total monetary base, on the net Federal Reserve net balance sheet, were, although they were reducing, the real effects were not so harsh as they were before, okay? So in my opinion, liquidity is still there in the global markets. I was watching net liquidity and I was watching total liquidity in the global markets. And besides that, this liquidity transferred also to the crypto assets, because we just spoke in the beginning of this podcast. We just spoke about Tether printing from 83 billion to 93 billion right now. So liquidity is there.
Jerome Powell is proud, probably.
Man, they're gonna give him a Nobel Prize if he's gonna achieve a soft landing. The weird part is that we might not see a recession in 2024. We might not see a recession, in my opinion, or something breaking until mid 2025. This can go. This can drag quite a lot until we see.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's gonna be that long, but what do you do until then? It's like, although if you're right, and I know that a lot of
the prices only go up.
What if into that moment in time, right? Let's go back to where it was. I had the chart with. Okay. Let's just out of the market, right? Oh, by the way, and I have to give props to my better half for signaling this to me. What if this is a double top?
Well, it can be, of course.
It can be, yeah. So she showed me this. So props to her.
Yeah, that's what I said. If this goes below 4,005,
yes, and it's a confirmation.
Below, it's over. We're gonna go into a recession, in my view. Then we're gonna have that scenario of a recession. But till now, you don't have any confirmation here of that.
I would not short this market, and I agree with you. But let's just go back to what we were saying, right? What if this year and towards the end of the year, the market is gonna be around 5,600? So it's still gonna rally, it's like still gonna go somewhere here. We're gonna have a drop like this for, I don't know, in January 2025, or I don't know where this is gonna come. And after that, we're still gonna rally, and after that, we're gonna have that bigger drop. Have no idea, this is just a squiggly line. My point is that if you're bearish, and if you're super bearish and you didn't flip, like for example, for me, this was the flip. Here, I flipped bullish on this. And fully confirmation when we printed above this area, right? For me, this was between here and here, I was neutral, and above this area, I was bullish, right? And of course, above this, it's another confirmation that we are bullish. This is why I said, as long as we stay above these highs from here, there is no reason of concern. Even we pick up some liquidity from here, and maybe after that, we trend higher.
Yeah, I think Nasdaq. If you have Nasdaq,
yeah, I
do. Because we can show people what a top might look like. Looking Nasdaq with Bitcoin, of course, from 2021, when it printed another high above the previous one. And when was the confirmation that Bitcoin was bearish back then?
You want Bitcoin on top of this? Sorry, you want Bitcoin on top of this?
You can put it on, but I don't know if it's gonna work like that. You can do that. I was looking at Bitcoin 2021 when it did another top above in the past. So I don't think it's gonna fit well because it's in the 2021. Yeah, that one. Exactly that one. Yeah. So exactly that one. But now for the Nasdaq with the new high, basically. So yeah, so one from 2021 is Bitcoin with orange, and now you have kind of the same pattern here. Kind of the same pattern here. You see, it looks similar. Even the correction looks similar. A
True.
tiny bit. Yeah. So then we can see, where did Bitcoin go like bearish? Where was that a double top? There, some kind of a double top for.
You mean where was the confirmation for Bitcoin that was a double
where
top?
was the confirmation? Yeah, in order to show people where to look in the Nasdaq to see like where was the confirmation. I think that level, right?
Yeah, I was looking at. Yeah,
that level, because look at that. You went below and you got a rejection, and you had a.
That was a break, retest, and continuation lower.
Yeah. So which level would be for the Nasdaq to look for the same pattern if it happens?
For Nasdaq, and this would be a double top. You mean like
15,600? Which level is that there? Perfect.
This one?
A little bit up, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
if we go above, exactly the same thing like S&P 500, and I agree with you. If we go above under the previous highs, which were the highs of the last year, and if we lose, I also agree that this would not be good for it.
Yeah, so it looks similar to 2021 Bitcoin, but we have no confirmation. Thus, it means that I remain bullish per probabilities here, like, because I don't have anything in the chart to like work with.
You want to see something crazy? Look at this huge cup and handle. This is on weekly cup and handle, right? And we just broke above that area. And the measure projected target for this is 22,600. This is the target for it.
It can be. It can be. We had a live stream together, I think, in Romania a couple of months back, and I said that probably we're gonna reach that levels in the future for like Nasdaq in a few years. But I don't know if it's now. It might still be a fake out and still first go down and then have that. But I think if nothing will change in relation to like printing of money, and I don't think it will. I think that level will be touched at some point, but it might take years to do that.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something from a technical perspective, right? So from the last move higher, Nasdaq rallied around 19%. So if you know, I mean, for sure you know this. I'm just saying for the audience who are watching. After a big rally, mathematically on the charts, you need a 50%. This is by textbook, a 50% retrace. And after a 50% retrace, it's called technically it's a full retrace after that move, and you can see another move higher. So from that point onwards, it would be a good risk reward. So after an 18% move higher, a 9% retrace would pull us back exactly around 15,000 area. Now, at that point in time, if we see if I see this level, first of all, even from here, I might think even to long it if we stay above the previous highs from here. So if we go here, but at that point in time,
I would short if we go below and retest. I will short it
below here.
Yeah.
It's a good area to short because you're gonna have 4 or 5%. However, this is what I'm saying, because from here to here, it can be half of this move. So this move was around 18%, and this move is going to be 9%. So 50% of that upwards move. And if we bounce after that, then like we can go to the
higher. Yeah.
It's crazy that I'm talking about this, but this is a chart that one of the guys in the community showed to me, and I was like, you know what, this is valid. I mean, I see what I see. Of course, this is a pattern. Of course, this is secondary to price action.
Every pattern can fail, so that's
every pattern can morph to something else. But until now, and actually, he showed to me this when we were, just around this level. So we were just breaking above this neckline. But who knows, man? Under the current conditions, when DXY, and since we are here, let's also
let's do DXY. Maybe take some comments in the chat. If you can put some on the screen afterwards, would be nice. And then maybe we can go back to shitcoins to do some analysis there and probably end it
Mr. Marius Popescu says that there will be no recession in 2024, and I tend to agree with it. And I'm not going to call it soft landing, landing, or no landing. I'm just going to call that maybe it's going to be in 2025, So
there's no signs now. There's no signs at this point. Like, in my view, what can cause a recession this year is some kind of a black swan event that will.
And that you cannot model, right? I mean, how can someone perceive that?
Model? But without some kind of a black swan, it's very hard for me to think that we're going to have a recession right now, because the probability is that you're not going to have a recession in an election year. That's probability. You have probably 70%, but you had it in the past in a few instances.
You had 2000, you had 2020. Usually, yes.
Usually it's bullish. Like, election year usually is bullish, like, per probability. Correct. It doesn't mean you cannot have a 2008, 2000, or 1932. You can, but per probabilities, bullish, which what I see now with the numbers that look pretty good. I don't have anything right now.
Cosmin is agreeing with you. If you can read that comment as
I
I'm
really
showing
believe that the most entertaining outcome would be the most likely. Pump to 60-65, no all-time high, and then we dump hard. We'll see. I don't know if we go that high, to be honest, but we'll have to see. It's not out of the question, to be honest. But I'll be very cautious if I'll tell you this. I'll be very cautious if we do all-time high. Like, very cautious. I might sell. Not everything, but I might sell again. Like, if we do that, if we do all-time high from here with no 6 months consolidation. Like, if I see 6 months, no, I'm not gonna sell. Probably we're gonna touch 150 to 100K in a few years, probably 1 year, 2 year. We'll see how long for BTC.
Now, as Daniel was saying, and we were talking about the DXY, I still believe that we're in this sequence of lower highs and lower lows. So this is a full bearish sequence. Even if we had last week this kind of an attempt, this was very, very well respected. Spoke about this quite a lot. I think even on X, I said about this. Price action, guys. This is a weighted average, right? So if this is a weighted average of other currencies against the dollar, let's see how euro dollar is faring and what is euro dollar doing right now, because it has the biggest average from the DXY at around 57 point something %. And euro dollar, it's still in a bullish formation. Like, look at this. It's like, if I go on weekly, it has this very nice structure of higher highs and higher lows. So if the biggest weight asset of a basket is still bullish right now, right, and euro is still bullish against the dollar, it means that most likely the biggest probability, and you can see how clearly it printed this higher low. This area for me was for quite some time, 1.0875, and it just, we had the correction, we had a very nice bounce and reaction from the buyers. If we go on daily, we can see how beautiful this, you can call it even a channel, but I don't want to put that channel there. Right now, what I want to see, it's a trend, correct? It's a higher high, higher lows bullish market, bullish structure. What I want to see right now, of course, I want to see a nice reaction, and I want to see another higher high from here. I don't want to see weakness. So if I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this kind of weakness from here. I want to see a strong reaction. Maybe we're going to see this on the CPI going forward, and I want another higher high, and especially to touch maybe 1.12 area, 1.13. So to invalidate the former highs from here, and of course to take out the highs from here. If this is going to happen, most likely the XY is going to continue this road, and maybe we're going to see even 100 area, 99.5 being tapped.
Probably, it's a high probability to touch that level. My scenario of this being in starting of a bear market months ago was right, but what was I wrong was because I thought it's going to bounce higher first. That's what I thought. Like, I thought it's going to bounce higher before really the bear market's going to kick off. But I guess it did not. Like, I guess we're kind of bear market scenario. But what can happen now, touch that level and break this downtrend to the upside. And then we might have
you mean here?
Maybe first touch the 100 level, like go down. And then maybe from there find another bottom and pump to 106, 7. I don't know, back from that range, and then continue down in the couple of years. Because I don't think this is gonna do much.
Let me tell you my scenario, which falls into the still high risk assets. First of all, I really believe that risk assets are doing much better when we have a weaker dollar. We spoke about this a lot of times.
Clearly.
When the dollar is too strong, it puts a lot of pressure on risk assets. It puts a lot of pressure on commodities. It puts a lot of pressure on crypto. We can watch the DXY chart inverted with Bitcoin, and we're going to see that they're very correlated, etc. Another thing that I really want to suggest to people in general is to look at higher time frames, because on smaller time frames, even on daily, can be a lot of noise. However, look I have this chart, I think since 2001, when we were around this area, and I did my biggest analysis on the XY, and I thought we were going to go towards 111, 118. Actually, we tapped around 115. I think that this area where we find ourselves right now, so what's this level here? Let's see the coordinates, around 101.4. So if we break the 101.4 area, by the way, this is monthly, so it might take some time. As you can see, this was a very, very big demand area. However, under this area, I think that DXY has this pattern. So even here on a macro channel, so on monthly, it would still be bullish, right? On a macro channel. But until May, even who knows? Let me see how can.
Yeah, it can drag down to
May, July, exactly. Until May, July. Exactly. We can be here.
Election year, we might see a pump from who knows what, like some kind of uncertainty or whatever.
Right. So what is my plan? And I think this is where, if I'm thinking, this can fall into your thesis with being very weary towards this year. I think, risk assets, so Bitcoin and S&P 500 and Nasdaq, Dow Jones, S&P, so risk assets in general can rally, maybe even gold. If gold, by the way, I'm gonna speak about gold after, but let's skip to this. If DXY goes towards 996 area, so Bitcoin can go towards all-time high, maybe even a bit over all-time high. S&P 500, 5,200, 5,500 area. So all risk assets higher, right? Around this area, so between, I don't know, May, July, August, when I'm going to see DXY around this, depending on what type of price action we're going to have. So, of course, if we trend lower, we're going to go much higher. We're going to go much higher.
Bull market in history of
exactly. But looking at this around this area, I can agree with your initial thesis from the beginning of the podcast. Yeah. Maybe it would not be a bad time to maybe take some bigger profits from the table,
Yeah, I agree, because then we're gonna have some kind of scenario of a double top from that range, or I don't know, so a reaction that's gonna go probably above 106.7 from that area, which means pain for the market towards the end of the year or in the second part of the year. Yeah, because my theory is I think we're gonna have a year that's gonna be half bearish, half bullish, especially in crypto, but it might be in the traditional markets as well. We're gonna see that scenario playing out. But yeah, something like that. Okay, and then from there we're gonna break it. We're gonna go down. Probably from.
I don't know if you're gonna be so much, because this is monthly. Let me just. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe like that. Maybe like that. Yeah, maybe like that. Something like that, and then we're gonna come down and break it. That's what I think.
Can be.
And go lower, but we'll see.
I want to agree with you here. So with this, I agree. That's why I said that short to medium term. So in the next 6 to 8 months, risk can still rally. If I see also DXY from here, this is going to be another confirmation, because if DXY drops another, how much is this? If DXY drops another 6% from here, 5.8, 5. Almost 6% from here. If DXY drops another 5% from here, risk can still rally. But around this area might not be a bad time towards the end of the year, like August, to take some profits with the potential gains that we might make, Until then, so we're going to have the halving right in the next 90 days. After that, we're going to have another 4 or 5 months of growth, potential growth with the ETF and with the inflows that can come. Again, we can go maybe even above the all-time high, around 80, 85. Everybody's going to dream about 150 to 100. And maybe from 85, we drop back to 40, like a 50% correction, 47. And everybody's going to lose hope then, and then you're going to reload. But I can see this happening. It all depends what's going to happen around this area. So I'm going to closely monitor. That's why I said, guys, everybody who's watching, ladies, gentlemen, just don't watch all the time, especially if you're investing and you're not day trading. Try to focus on weekly. Try to focus on, actually work yourself monthly, weekly, daily. Go like a top-down analysis, because it's going to be much better if you're an investor. Like, why would you watch your daily chart for Bitcoin or Ethereum if you're not trading. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if your time frame is like higher. What strikes me is still bond yields, because they're still too high. If
Okay.
if we're gonna be in a risk on environment, I think those yields, they need to come down in 2024. Like usually it should play like that, but at the beginning of the year, the bond yields went higher. I don't know if you have it
I have
there.
it. I have it.
Yeah. So if you can pull up the 10, the 10 and the 2, I think, yeah. So we went into a small rally, but yeah, I think it can play out in the scenario of like risk on, because it is descending right now. So it
Yeah, it
is
is. It
coming.
is.
It is coming down. Okay, it is coming down. So maybe, but we had some kind of a bounce, but I think that bounce is like a maybe a short-term bounce till we go to the lower levels for the 10, right? I think so, but they're still too high in my view. So they're still too high right now. We need to see risk on, like really risk on is going to come in the markets when those bonds are probably going to go lower, from my point of view, because people now are not really, they don't really know if they're gonna be on a risk on risk off environment. I think bonds can like show that. I don't know, what's your opinion about bonds yield?
I agree with what you said there, but besides looking at this, I'm going to look more at the yield curve. And as long as this looks contained and we don't see it above this threshold, so the problem is not when it's inverted. The problem is like when it's going to go uninverted. So,
Yes.
and this is on weekly. For this to go uninverted, it's like exactly like we were discussing on the DXY. Maybe it's like what, August somewhere. So maybe at that point in time you start to de-risk when you see that this is uninverting. But until then, it's like if it looks like this, and especially if
it might do a, like if you look at the technical analysis, which is not really okay to do on that.
yeah,
You'll say like, oh, it's closer to a double bottom, and it means that it's gonna go down first till it's gonna come back up. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I think it's still gonna go back to the level we've seen in beginning end of the year or something, down like from here. And then
if this goes down, it's bullish risk assets.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It looks like it's gonna go down first before it's gonna go up. So again, first part of the year might be still bullish. Looking at it overall.
How crazy we would be, both of us, if we're gonna keep this framework, and in August we're gonna be like, guys, we had enough. Bitcoin is like 80,000. We're gonna take some profits. Everybody's gonna, oh, you're stupid. Why you're taking profits around the work? Like, what do you do this? Like, oh, we're gonna go to 500,000.
Well, and of course we're gonna follow it here on
the
channel, and if things change, of course, we're gonna try to adjust. But for now, I'm not seeing anything ultra bearish at all for the first part. But we'll have to wait and see, especially after the ETF, how things are gonna look, because then we're gonna maybe have a clear picture. If the ETF like is some kind of a non-event with no all-time high, then we'll see how the reaction in the market will be, and how the feeling of other people that are in the market will be, and then we're maybe gonna have a clear vision if we're gonna go down first half or second half or just up. We're probably gonna have more clarity on that after the ETF. That's my point of view.
I want to show you something, and I want to pick your brain a little bit on it. This actually belongs to an idea that Wabi from Because Bitcoin had, and it's regarding Coinbase. I'm watching Coinbase. You know that I don't trade stocks, but I'm really thinking to add Coinbase on my to add Coinbase to my portfolio, because as the custodians of the biggest names in the industry, I really think that this stock is still undervalued, and I like even the market structure. Like if I take it from here, from lower sides, it looks like a low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. The issue here, and I'm gonna tell you the issue, like the potential issue, is that it looks like it topped out a little bit, and this looks for me like a delay of the ETF until March.
It does look like that. Like, agree. It does look like that. Looks like it's gonna come down. And I have probably the same level as you have, maybe a bit lower. Maybe a bit lower. Yeah,
No,
that range.
I have this level because of here. That's the only
Yeah.
reason.
So in Coinbase, I was looking very, very closely at it. Like everyone was looking at, I don't know, just Bitcoin and so on. But from my point of view, Coinbase was a very, very easy play as well because it IPO'd, and usually after an IPO, it drops 50%
True,
or
true,
even
true.
even more. And I was very interested, and I accumulated a lot under 50. And so I accumulated a lot under 50.
Smart. You still
Uh,
have that position?
I still have it. I wanted to sell, you know where? A little bit higher than that. I want to sell 50%, a little bit higher. Yeah, in that range. But it did not touch it, you know. So I'm still holding the position right now, and as you said, you wanted to add. I wanted to add more because I think it's a matter of when this is gonna go to all-time high. Like
I
it's a
agree
matter
with
of
you.
when. Yeah, it's
I
a matter
agree
of
with you.
when. So yeah, probably if it goes below what level you have there, 100, is that 100 or?
This is 130 and this is 111.
Under 111, if it goes there or under that level, even though the market structure might look that it's going to break a little bit, I think it's a good way to buy more under 100 or close to 100 from my point of view. So if I see it under 100, I'm probably gonna buy again some Coinbase because I think this is gonna go to all-time high. My target is above 1,000, probably in 2 years from now.
You're
Probably.
You know what? Usually, I don't like to. I'm not the prediction guy, but Wabi in one of those podcasts, he made a lot of sense with this, and I also think that it can be one of the best performers going forward. One of the best performers because of the things that I still think that they have a lot of work to do on the platforms. Their mobile app is absolutely horrible. They're closing some weird times, like sometimes they're just dropping your account for no reason, they're blocking you. But if you're thinking about the adoption and them being the custodians of the biggest names in the industry for the ETF, I still think that the stock is undervalued and it quite looks good, even like structurally. Another thing before we finish off, I wanted to talk with you about the home builders. So in the United States, and I have to give kudos to Rand Miller, the amazing guy who came to our group and he showed us a lot of things and a lot of technicals when it comes to fundamentals and when it comes to macro. He was talking about the housing market being like the business cycle, right? So the housing market in the United States is like the heart of United States economy, because based on that, you have jobs, you have production, you have manufacturing, you have logistics, you have a lot of things
of how things
discretionary. Exactly, people buy things for houses, jobs, etc. So last year, I don't know if you remember, but I shorted this stock. It's Pulte Group, PHM, and I shorted it all the way from here to 85, and around 70. The short was closed on this bounce. Okay, since then, look what happened. Okay. So since then, it rallied and it's like in an all-time high. This is the third largest home builder in the United States.
Yeah,
right?
I think we talked about it last time. It looks still bullish, but the thing is, it did that in the past, and things did not end well after we went higher. So usually, when this goes higher and higher, at some point, something bad's gonna follow. So this is not gonna pull back. Same as Bitcoin. Probably this is not gonna pull back. Yeah, probably it's gonna continue.
If this pulls back, but my theory for this is like this. We just spoke about the job market, right, in the United States, and we just said that the unemployment rate is still at 3.7. We just said that unemployment claims is like they're way below 300,000 per week, even under 250. Now, the biggest, largest home builder in the United States, the third biggest, largest home builder in the United States, Pulte Group, so PHM, looks absolutely bullish. So if we have the job market which looks good, if we have the housing market, one of the biggest home builders in the United States like Pulte still looks very, very bullish. It's like, for me, as long as Pulte stays above 85, it does, like I have here, like the annotations. Around 91, I'm looking for the first place to buy, and even towards like a bigger drop towards 85, because it's gonna stay above the previous all-time high. Correct. So as long as we stay above this area, this shows to me that the biggest lifelines of the United States economy, the biggest barometers, the job market plus the housing market, they're still doing good. When I'm gonna see something changing, I also might adapt and adjust my views on this.
Yeah, and you can go on the monthly and see what happened when it really came down, like when it broke structure. It was not good usually. So yeah, you can go in the past. So look what happened there. It looks like Bitcoin from 2017 a little bit there. But yeah, see what year was that?
2005 until it is the stock market. It was the great financial crisis.
It predicted kind of a recession coming. So for now, it's not predicting that yet. So when
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Is like, what? Okay, there are still some bad signs. Delinquencies are very high. The credit card delinquencies are very high. I spoke about
smaller. I would say smaller signs for now, but smaller than.
This is what I'm saying. I don't see real bad issues, and of course this can happen. From guys, don't take this as a prediction. This can happen and we will change and we will adapt week to week. But as for now, we just spoke about the job market, and this is one of, like I said, from the housing market, the third biggest, largest home builder in the United States, looks very good. Looks very, very good.
When data look very good, you'll say no recession is coming. When data is looking very bad, you're gonna say recession is coming, and it's not coming. Usually, so yeah, we are coming to that scenario that the data looks too good to be true from my point of view. But I think we still have a room to go till
I agree with this.
And probably at some point, but the higher we go without the recession, the harder the recession will be from my point of view. So that's how I see it in this scenario, with printing money coming out of 2020 and going into this scenario with high interest rates and coming with inflation coming down into a deflation. I think this is like, it needs to worry someone in the future. That's my point of view. Like maybe not now, but in the future, it's really worrisome. Okay, this type of scenario, but not right now. Any other questions? And then we can switch a little bit to shitcoins and end the show.
I think in the meantime, what I switch to shitcoin. Okay, why do we shitcoins? Because I don't want to offend anyone right here. I don't know what you altcoins.
Well, altcoins. We mean altcoins that we invest as well, but sometimes we call them shitcoins. So it's like,
you want to share some charts? You want to share some charts?
I think someone wanted EGLD. Maybe you can start.
I have.
I see some comments on Twitter here.
I have EGLD if you want.
EGLD, please. And if Bitcoin pumps to 56K on the ETF approval, is it the moment to shift to Ethereum? That's what I said. I will look that. It doesn't mean that it's the moment. I would say that I will closely watch what the pair will do, Ethereum, Bitcoin.
When it comes to EGLD, this is one of my older charts, and only here I said, okay, this looks interesting. Although we were under this area, I said, okay, this looks like a nice, very nice falling wedge. For me, the confirmation was when we broke out above 38, because we printed the first high of this sequence, right? So, okay, some people are more aggressive and they trade this. For me, this was the confirmation. We had the pullback. There is the thread there written. Now, going forward to the current price action, I didn't like what I've seen here, and I don't like this kind of price action. What I want to see from this, I want to see a clear pullback. So maybe this is a deviation of all this, and I hope that EGLD buyers can send the price back above 65, because if not, this looks like this was distribution of all the people who entered lower. So all the people who entered maybe much lower from here, maybe they were much more aggressive, and they bought on this way up. Maybe they're distributing their current profits. This is not confirmed, and I still think, and I like what I've seen. I like the reaction, the recent reaction. I like that we went even lower than 48, so we grabbed some liquidity from here, but this is not enough. I want to see it back above 65, so I want to see it back above 65, so this can be a full deviation. If I see it back above 65, I'll become bullish also on EGLD short to medium term. For now, I'm neutral because of the last day's price action and because what we had here. This was a very nice structure. It was higher highs and higher lows. I would have loved on this week to see a bigger reaction and we can print higher. Because of this, here makes me still think that I'm neutral short to medium term.
Yeah, I can share and maybe share a wider analysis on EGLD. Let me see. Okay, perfect. So yeah, here clearly was a bearish when it broke 65. So this one, you can see this was like a fake out above this level, and then we broke it and we touched perfectly 46.87, which if you look left, you can see here a lot of support from this level. You can see here a lot of resistance from this level.
Agree.
And then once we broke, we consolidated here, and then we broke it. We went to 70, 78, and then we touched this level, and it's still bearish from my point of view. I think I'm gonna become bullish on this if we broke above 65.
We align very much. We align very much on our thesis.
So this is the short term, but there is some kind of event coming for EGLD, not EGLD per se, but they have like some projects on the launch pad. So that can be an event that people will maybe lock some coins or even buy it for that event. So I cannot be bearish on short term. I don't think really, if Bitcoin is not gonna crash below 40K, I don't think this is really gonna go now. In this range, $38 that would be a good scenario. But if you look at the macro here, it doesn't look too good. Why? From a technical perspective analysis, you can see this weeks here from 2021. You have another one here in July 2021. Have here May 2021. You have another week here in May 2022. You have a lot of resistance below this level, and then you came back here. You retested this, and this is what happened. So it's like, it looks like a fake out. It looks like we might spend some time again in this range, but overall, I think at some point in time, I think we're gonna break this level. But it doesn't look good for the short term. This kind of scenario usually goes and touch at least $38 before it does something else. But on the medium term, I think this will go here, or maybe eventually 140 in this range. Question is it gonna stay longer here to accumulate or not? What I like, because I'm here on the perpetual, I see some volume here on perpetual. But on the EGLD, if we go on EGLD on Binance, I don't know if there's much volume here. Yeah, look at this. So look at this, like there's not much volume. Let's go on USDT, EGLD USDT. Maybe here is more. Yeah, looks here there's a little bit more of a volume here, so this looks a bit better here, but I want to see more. I want to see more. You had here one volume candle, and then it's decreasing. I need to see more here, but it's good because someone did buy here, like someone is accumulating here. So at some point, I think for the holders, I think this will go. I think this will go at least to this level here, 120, 140, maybe a bit higher. In
152. Never forget this level on EGLD. 152. Never forget it.
150. Yeah, 152. Yeah, I think so. I think this might be actually a very, very good one. I think so. The risk, it's low here. Like, you're still in a low risk here for EGLD. I think bull market can really start a little bit better if we break above and we hold 65 to 68. So if you hold this level, if we go back here and we hold this level as support, it's perfect. Yeah, this is a bull market scenario, and then you're gonna do this, probably something like this. But it's low risk in my view. Like, if you look at it from this perspective, this is where you want to do your business from my point of view. Like here.
Accumulation, you mean?
Yeah. Business. Like, if you want to be a holder, this will be the range where you want to do business. Okay. And closer, of course, to the middle range, which is like 45, 48, or maybe to the lower range, it's like 35, 30. This is your range, okay, for doing business if you like this coin. It might go sideways for a while. It might do this, who knows? But at some point, I think once accumulation is done, I think it's gonna find some kind of liquidity, and you don't need much to go to this level. And it's another thing that I look, it's the VPVR. Here, the volume profile. It looks clear, like 70 a little bit here, maybe 68. If we break above, there's nothing much still here. Like, there's nothing much. There's not really nothing. And we know something about crypto. Crypto goes very fast, like very, very fast. If this will be broken, I think a week or two, we might be here, like in this range. But clearly, this is range for accumulation in this coin, and I see that there is interest. And because if it stayed in the top 50, again, a very good sign. Like, it remained in the top 50.
Because it remained visible.
Yes, it's visible, so it's there, and yeah, we'll see how the new projects on the will do, because it needs a few projects that it's gonna perform in order for this to like really be there. But yeah, I think overall maybe short term a bit sideways, maybe a bit bearish, but on the medium term I think it's gonna go like in the second part of the bull. I think it's gonna go at least here. I don't know about all-time high. Usually these types of coins don't go above all-time high, like don't reach, like it's very hard to reach the previous all-time high, but it can do 200 300, maybe a double top. There's some that do double tops, and there's some that go to all-time high, but it's harder because you need more liquidity and you have more competition now than in the previous cycle. So that's the problem usually. Okay, that's usually the problem. And the inflation of the coin, it's another problem that you need to look at.
There is a trader in Romania, I don't know if you remember him, Paul Achim.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the OGs in trading and in trading cryptos, and also in in investing in Romania. And one time I was in CBU and he explained to me the concept of bank holders, right? And since then my mind just totally flipped, and I was like, you know what, this guy makes a lot of sense. And he was like, I would rather buy when we have the beginning of a bull run, I would rather buy the new coins, which are like fresh ones with new narratives, and they don't have resistances, and they just have price discovery, or they have small resistances, and they're on the right narratives, rather than investing in older coins who have back holders, and they just gonna be either they have PTSD from the bear market, or they're so stressed that they're gonna sell with 10 hands, because the selling pressure is gonna be much bigger than the buying pressure. Of course, he also mentioned this. And he said, of course, there are going to be some outliers, right? We're going to have some exceptions, which they're going to go from the rule. But 90, he said, around, like he said, a big number. Most of the coins which are from the older bear market, and he said, besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, don't reach the all-time high because of the back holders. So for the project to reach the all-time high, it needs a strong narrative, needs strong partnerships, needs a lot of liquidity. Because if not, the sell pressure is going to be bigger than the buy pressure because of the back holders who didn't sell in the previous bull run.
Yeah, it is true, and I tell people this all the time. Being through so many cycles, it's kind of clear that it's very hard for something like this to go above all-time high, because all the buyers here, that probably they're gonna sell when they're gonna see the price going up. So you need a very strong narrative. It's not impossible, but you need a very strong narrative and very, very much buying pressure here in order to do this, go, or a very big bull market, like a very big bull market when you have 10 to 20 trillion in total market cap for crypto. Then it doesn't really matter. Everything's gonna go up.
I think I'm gonna say it out live. Although this has a lot of backholders, also, if the total market cap goes to 8 trillion, I think there's a high possibility that also Elrond touches at least the previous all-time high. So I don't think it needs 20, but
touched for 10 trillion is probably gonna touch it, but it needs more. I think it needs 15 to 20 in order for this to do all-time high, or a strong narrative, like a very strong narrative, or something new. Something new that will go with the price. But for now, normally these coins like here maybe a bit higher, but that's your can be your gain that you're gonna look at. And the new coins are the ones to look in regards to. See, this EGLD was a new coin here. Look at the volume. Nice.
True.
Here,
true
nothing.
true
Look at this
Celestia. It's on my list also.
I bought. I knew it from, it was like before I got an airdrop from Cosmos. I know it for like a long time that it's gonna show up. But if we go here, you can see the same thing, right? Like maybe this is not the best chart. Let's do TI USDT to have Tether. So kind of the same narrative with huge volume. Okay, this is one you want to see, or say. If we go to say, same thing. Say. And I'm gonna give you another thing that I look at for these new coins, because everything is in the chart and in the chart, and this already happened before. Like, it's nothing new from my point of view. Okay, you can look at Solana from 2020 2021 and it looked the same. Okay, same chart pattern, same volumes that are bigger than normal coins and so on, same move, and then probably a correction. The correction for altcoins in these types of scenario, it's between 40 and 60%, even in a bull market. Okay, even in a bull market, these are taking 40 to 60%. And we can go back to Solana and see how Solana. You have everything, guys. Like, you have everything from the previous cycle. This cycle is not different. Okay, this cycle is not different. Where are we right now? We can be here. Okay, for most of the coins, like say like TIA, we can be here. Like, we can be in the first part, and then this can follow. But even in this part, you can see here that Solana retraced 67% from the top. Okay, so they're gonna be something like this, but those are buying opportunities. Okay, a 60 to 40% in this type of scenario, it's a buying opportunity in my view. So look for that. Okay, look for that. And another thing, Fed.
I like also Fed.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't look what Fed did. So if you look at this chart from the beginning, people was like, yeah, Fed is never gonna retrace. Look at this. So from here it retraced 97%. Then from here it pumped 2,065%, and then from here it retraced another 73%, and then from here it pumped 2,000% again, and then from here it retraced 80%, and then from here it pumped 600%,
and dropped 98%. I think it's 90. The way it looks, that is like 94.
90. Yeah, 95%. So it dropped 95%, and then it pumped again 820 something percent, and then it dropped again. Here, it dropped 72%, and now again it pumps. Let's see where it ends. If this ends here, it's kind of low in comparison to history, like 300. Maybe we can do a 600 or something, but at some point it's gonna be between 40 and 60 at least.
We have exactly this question from Sergio, and maybe we can end with this. If a sell the news event and happens on Bitcoin, he meant, and we go to 38, what can we expect from alts? 40 to 60% minus? Yes.
Correct. But that's a buying opportunity. And on TIA, or like, say we looked at it here.
Injective. Again. I like Injective a lot.
Injective, yeah, but Injective, let me show you something interesting in regards to Injective here. What this reminds me, it's another coin which a lot of people loved. It was it was a coin that people loved in 2020, 2021. The name was Cardano. Okay, so Cardano.
Don't compare them.
Let's look at, I'm comparing just the price. Let's look at the Injective. 95%. So Cardano took 98% from the top. So kind of there. Okay, then this reaccumulated, same as Cardano in 2020, 2019, and then it printed another high above this level. Okay, it printed a high above this level here, and then it collapsed and it went back. Now, I do like Injective. I still have 50% of my position that I bought here around $7. I sold at 38, 50%. I still hold some for maybe going to 100, 200. It can be. But if I will see this going below, I would say 25, I'll have a very, very big red flag, because going back to Cardano.
Here, well, the main difference between until you open this is the FDV and the total supply. This has 100 million total supply. Cardano has like billions.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the patterns. I'm not talking about anything else, just the patterns. Okay, I'm talking about the patterns here. This printed high here, something reaccumulated and did this. And then once, let's go on another, let's go on logarithmic. Maybe it's easier to spot like this. Okay, so it went above this level 127 from here 2018, same kind of chart pattern. It went higher, it went to $3, and then it collapsed. So if I would see Injective going below 25, I think it's over. It's going to be a Cardano style retracement, but till then I'm not going to sell. Okay, till then I'm not going to sell Injective. I think Injective still has a potential to go higher from here. Like
my target for Injective is around 200, 250 for this bull run.
Yeah, I think 150, 200 can be done for Injective, but I'm just talking about the other scenario. You know, what if it's not happening? Like, where is your cut here? Like in my
under 25, I don't.
This is gonna retrace. It's gonna sound crazy, but it's gonna retrace down to $2. So you don't really
I'm not gonna speak about $2, but I can say to 11 first. But after that, I don't like this kind of wild targets. Yeah,
long term. Yeah, long term.
I'll see. 25 under 25, 11 is the first target, but after that we shall see. For me, I like what they're doing. I like their partnerships. I like their tech. Like exactly the same. Celestia, Injective, Tia. These are some say. No. So Celestia, I just said. There are a few which look very nice, and they don't have the backholders, like I said. And some people confuse backholders with previous cycles. No, ladies, gentlemen, backholders means that we don't have any more people who are selling above the current prices. This is what means backholders. This does not mean that there are not people from previous cycles in here, but at these current prices, who is selling above this current price?
True, but this had the narrative, correct? Like who not
yes,
do that. So it has a lot of backholders from here, but it had a narrative. So these people sold. Same as with Cardano. They sold. It's like, oh, look at this. Like, look at the psychology of the market with Cardano, right? Like here, it retraced 98% from here. And of course, when it pumped like 98, almost 99%, when it pumped here, a lot of people left. It's like, okay, it's enough. We're selling here. And then this happened.
I think that lower level, which is that 0.5, is exactly where we are right now with Injective.
You mean here or
no? I mean in the middle of the chart, but it's a bit okay. We have the all-time high still there. The difference is that when we had the all-time high on Cardano, we had the full monetary policy and we had the full bull run, and we are just at the beginning with Injective. That's why I'm still seeing a 4 or 5x.
And look at the difference. No volume. This is dead.
Yeah, because that was the bear market.
Yeah, but this is dead. But Injective has some volume.
Has very nice volume. And another thing which I like about Injective is that it was one of the strongest altcoins in the last few months. One of the strongest ones. And look also Injective BTC, and you're gonna see something amazing there.
Yeah.
All the retraces which we had on Injective in the last 3 months were quickly bought.
There is a few here that perform better, but this reminds me of BNB probably. Like this probably is gonna end at some point with the top and then versus Bitcoin.
But I would rather accumulate coins which are strong like this, which have like very nice narratives, and they're also stronger versus Bitcoin. I mean, for God's sakes, this is almost at all-time high versus Bitcoin. Like you want to average your winners, not your losers, right?
Clearly, you want to hold winners, not losers. Yeah, clear. And this looks good. Like if it goes,
and I still think, I still think that going forward, Injective, Tia, Say, and some of the new ones who I don't know. I heard about Dimension, EGLD, some of the ones that are coming from behind. I still think that they can perform really well. What the hell, Hex is there, man? Unbelievable. These people are crazy.
Hex, yeah. Hex is pumping out of nowhere.
I don't like this. This looks like a market top.
We'll see.
No, I'm joking. When I see this shit's pumping.
Yeah, Axelar is pretty interesting.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, just it's a competitor to Rune on bridging. So
really, this is really nice. Rune doesn't. I don't know about their
doesn't have any competition except kind of Axelar is the second one.
That's really interesting. You know what else I like for this bull run? QNT.
Yeah, QNT is very undervalued from my point of view. This type of coins like EGLD, like this one QNT, probably is gonna run in the second part of the bull. So
QNT is like a big competitor for Link, and I think that if you look at this, QNT can rally also. So there are a few which are like on my list. What I'm focusing like we just discussed right now with on coins with no bag holders. I had a position on Algorand, and I'm not going to add to it. I liked how it looked on the chart on weekly because it broke out above a nice downtrend line. I'm not going to add on that. I still hold some Injective, and I have a trade on margin on AVAX, but I'm looking to buy Celestia. By the way, another one that you should look at is Mint Layer. Looks absolutely astonishing.
Mint Layer. I've heard of it. I think someone
really looks really, really good. And they have like a very nice team. They have a nice narrative on it.
Max C, that's the problem on GateO. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good, but I think a retracement is in place here. And
but exactly like you just said, these are the types of the coins that you want to accumulate on a retrace of 40-60%.
Yeah, agree. Like 40%, 60% is 23 cents. 40% correction would be 40. So yeah, I think. But now you don't have any scenario like that yet. 4 hour still looks bullish here. Still bullish. Below 61, we can do something here, but now still looks like continuation for this one. Well, ICP, like ICP, $13.
This is such a crazy one. Someone mentioned this to me around $3 and after that at $5. And if you look at the market structure, it really ran like a lot.
I showed it to you in one of the ICP, if you remember. I showed it to you when it was pretty low, and I have on my Romanian channel, I have a comparison between ICP done 1 year and a half ago, I think. ICP and ICX from the previous cycle, and it's pretty similar. Yeah, and it's pretty similar. So this does not really do anything special for now. Like I don't think this will be something in the future. I might be wrong, and like some people will get mad because they got attached to ICP. But looking at it from this perspective, if this will rally here, I will sell with two hands. Like if this rally in this range here, I will sell with two hands. And I always show people ICX, which still builds. It still builds right now. ICX. Similar charts here with ICP. Now, so we can see it bottomed here at 11 cents. It went crazy first $12, bottom here, and then from here it did first around 400%, and then from bottom to top it did around 24, 25x almost from the bottom. And I traded it here. I bought it here. I think
you're not showing the chart. You're showing crypto bubbles.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So here, ICX. Yeah, so ICX, pretty similar. Same thing from 13.
Oh, what a double top it had there, man. Crazy.
Yeah, so I traded here. So I bought, I think, 40 cents, and I sold around $2 around this range, and I never went back to this. I was like, this is not going to do anything. And I think ICP is the same, ICP, I think, is the same. I don't see how this will really move more than this, but anything can happen. Again, if I will see it here, if I will hold ICP, probably I will sell most of it. Maybe not everything, but most of it. I will just get out of this. So yeah, because this was what, $3,000 in the top.
Crazy.
Crazy. And now people are like, oh yeah, ICP is going up. Yes, it was 3,000. Then it was around.
Do you even imagine the people who bought at 1,000, 2,000, how they're gonna sell when they're gonna get even near?
Probably they did not buy here because this was a Wix, but I know people that bought 200 for sure. So
that's the problem. That's the problem with this kind of coins.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of pumped by who knows who in regards to this, but yeah,
I think there were some liquidations on futures. I think it was just a release because a lot of people were shorting it. I think it's a good place to wrap up, Daniel. What do you say?
I agree. 2 hours 14 minutes. I think it's perfect.
We covered a lot of ground. We went from monetary policies. We spoke a lot about Bitcoin in the beginning. What can I say? Just don't in general, don't use high leverage. In general, just learn about the market that you are trading. But especially now, like Daniel said in the beginning, we are in a very, very weird range right now when it comes to Bitcoin. Until we don't have a clear breakout, until we don't have some consolidation in the market, I don't think that this is a market to trade. I think there is a lot of anxiety around this event. So we can see whipsaw motions. We can see a lot of things moving up and down, and we can see a lot of liquidations for both sides. If you bought until now, just chill. If you didn't bought until now, I would also say just chill, because I still think that this is just the beginning of the bull run at best. I still think that this is the in-between phase. I don't think that the bull run actually started. And I think that's a lot of money that still should come. So no need to FOMO. Just manage your emotions, have a plan, have a DCA plan, think also about a DC out plan for the future. But there is no need to FOMO in right now. Even if Bitcoin goes from here to 70K, let's say in 1 week, after that is going to pull back, I don't know, 40, 50%. Alts are going to pull back 60, 70% from those values. And you can still add that very good, and you can still have good entries for the next 6 to 12 months, right? So I really hope that this event is just done with it. I don't know how much I can take, because if we're going to have it delayed until March, I'm going to be so fed up. I'm going to go white here fully.
Yeah, probably is gonna be approved. We'll see probably till Wednesday.
I really want it to be approved. So we can talk about price, we can talk about halving, we can talk about trading, we can talk about rotations between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the others. Right now, everybody's talking. I muted the word ETF in my Twitter. I swear, it's like because if it's gonna happen, we're gonna see it on the chat for sure. So too much of this.
Oh yeah, you know what? We did not cover the inflation. Maybe we can inflation.
Inflation. Yeah, just go ahead and let's say a few words.
I don't know what you expect. It's I think the forecast is 3.1, so similar, and the core the forecast is down.
Maybe we can see the baseline inflation a bit higher and the core also like a bit higher, because we had the buying sprees now in November and December towards the end of the year, and all this shopping spree with the holiday season. But I don't think it's going to be something too much there. I don't think it's
going to be something to really
shake the markets.
Really impact the market that much. But yeah, I agree with you. And guys, if you like the content, you have the like button here. We passed 500 subscribers on YouTube, which is great. We're on the road to 1,000. So we thank you all for being here. And I'll see you in the next one. I don't know, 1 week, 2 week. We don't know exactly. Depends what's happening in the markets as well. But clearly we'll be back with another Monday kickoff. Okay, and we really appreciate you guys being here and leave comments and likes. And I think we should really leave it there, right?
I agree. Also, Daniel,
you can find me on Twitter. You have the link here. You can find Mr. Spread on Twitter. You have the link here. So you can find us there. We're pretty active.
Daniel, I want to thank you for another great episode. I really think that we covered a lot of ground, from the TradFi to Forex to potential scenarios. Everything. I think one more time people can see that we agree on a lot of things, but we also disagree on a lot of things. And all in all, I want to wish you and everybody who is watching and who is with us right now a very nice 2024, filled with a lot of success. And I really hope and I really think that this year can be very good for the people who are disciplined and have a plan. So with that said, until next time, we just said that we might do it each like 2 other weeks, right? But if the ETF is going to be approved, well, we will see, but we will announce it previously, right? We will announce it on Twitter. Daniel, have a wonderful evening going forward. See you next time, and thanks for everything. Bye, everybody.
See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.